So what? It's just sex.
Wait a minute.
Hey everybody, I'm Ron,
I'm Janelle.
and you're listening to
So What? It's Just Sex.
This podcast takes on the topics of sex in and out of relationships.
And we aim to normalize talking about sex by removing the stigma of asking for what you want in and out of the bedroom.
From time to time, we'll have guests on the show.
And go out into the world and explore what sex looks like for us and other people.
Come with us on this wild ride, and hopefully we will open up your sexual world or at least make you feel normal.
You can find us on most podcast platforms.
Like iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play Store, etc.
And of course, don't forget to follow us or subscribe. And please rate us.
You can also visit our website, sowhatitsjustsex.com.
And our email address is info@sowhatitsjustsex.com.
We're also on social media at So What It's Just SX on Twitter and Instagram, and on Facebook, it's at So What It's Just Sex. Also, we're on podbean.com.
And of course, all of these are on our website.
Thank you so much for listening.
We hope you enjoy this episode as much as we enjoy recording it.
This is So What It's Just Sex. And we are back. What's up, baby?
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great.
It's 21 episodes.
Oh, 21. That's your favorite number.
Our podcast can legally drink. It can drink now.
But that's also your favorite number.
It is. It's my favorite number. It's some weird, nonsense, crazy shit.
It is stupid, but it's your favorite number.
Thank you, honey. I love how you take the things that make my life meaning and then just call them stupid. But we're not alone.
We're not alone.
So, do you want to say who we have?
You can say it if you want.
I mean, people on YouTube right now can see that we are not alone.
We're not alone with people and with objects.
Yes, and I think the word is it proprietors? We are here with the proprietors.
Entrepreneurs?
With the
Yeah,
entrepreneurs.
I think.
Behind
That's what I would
Reese
say.
and Rose
Yes.
Toys. Like, is it Reese and Rose Toys?
It's like
I
adult
mean,
sex toys,
yeah.
right?
Adult sex toys?
Right,
With our
right.
tagline, make
Let's
time
own
for
it.
R&R. Get it?
Oh, I love that.
That's really good.
So we have Brian and Chelsea, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And
What's
I'll-
up, you guys?
Yeah, and I'll let you
Hey-o.
all on YouTube decide which one's Brian and which one's Chelsea.
It's a toss-up.
You figure it out.
knows?
You
Who
figure it
knows?
out.
So welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We're so
welcome.
excited.
We
you
so
for-
appreciate you guys having us. It's
Yeah.
gonna
We
be so
appreciate you
fun.
showing up. We were like,
Dude, we've been thinking
Are they
about
gonna
this for
come?
weeks now.
I
We're
can't even
so
believe
pumped.
that. It's so weird to me that you're like excited to meet us. We're excited to meet you, but it's
No
like
way.
anybody excited to meet us, I'm like, why? Is this
It's like
You
how
guys are
many-
big time.
Yeah,
okay?
how many
I
times
love
do you get an
podcasts.
opportunity to come into a
Seriously.
studio with some rock stars? You know what I mean? Like,
Never for me.
seriously. I
Never.
think we're good.
Oh my goodness. They're calling you a rock star, baby. See, I'm just here. I'm lucky. I'm just lucky to get to be next to you.
Oh, thank you. Let me
Yeah.
try to do a hair flip
Aw.
behind
Yeah.
I mean, if you have to be a number 2 to somebody, this is not bad, okay?
Yeah. No, definitely.
You know, it's funny. I've always told like my life goal was to be a rock star. So if it comes in this form, like I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like YouTube talking about sex toys, speaking with lovely people,
Hell yeah.
talking about sex. It's like this is living the dream.
Yeah, and we found you on Instagram.
Right.
Yes.
So I was just
It's a miracle.
like just stumbling around Instagram looking at sex related
Roll
posts.
the dice.
Yeah.
And then Married Toys, they did a post about you.
They did, yeah. They got our product and they were nice enough to say they wanted to review it. And honestly, I was kind of scared of them, to be totally honest.
She's very out there, the wife.
Not that they're out there or
No.
that's too sexual, but honestly, I was just a little nervous. You know, when you can't like read a person through
Just in the
text
conversation?
and
Yeah,
conversation,
you
don't
and,
have the
and-
cues
yeah,
and-
and I'm like, oh, what if they say something bad about us? Like
Yeah.
I'm so scared, and they've got way
That'd
more
be
followers
fucked
than
up.
we do.
I had to go fight someone over that. Why would they do that?
I don't know. But I mean,
cool.
they do honest reviews and it's totally legit. So
Yeah.
I'm like, if they get our product, they might hate it and say
Yeah.
something bad about us.
Yeah.
But they reached back out to us again and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get you our product for a discounted rate.
Yeah.
Got it to them, and they've been so nice to
Yeah,
us.
that's
Honestly,
great.
everyone on Instagram's been
Yeah,
so
if
nice to us.
if I can take one step further too, they even like Mary Toys has said like, oh cool, we're going to be reviewing your toys soon, and then they got sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh man, I'm so sorry. And
Yeah.
then now I think this Thursday they're going to be coming out and coming out with the final review.
Oh.
Yeah.
But when they
The
announced that
actual
they were going to
legit
be
blog
doing
post.
the review, all of a sudden we have a bunch of our fans, if you will, that are on Instagram.
Right.
And they all jumped in and they were like, oh, we love it, we love it, we love it. So now we're
Yeah,
like,
I'm like,
oh,
don't
man,
say
like,
anything bad now.
we got people.
You got backing now.
The gang, okay?
Yeah. You got an R&R gang.
I think that we're more like taken aback because like we feel like we talk a lot about sex, and we're always like throwing it out there and we're saying these things, but like they like, both her and him, they'll be just like nothing
Naked.
but a towel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you do you, boo.
Yeah.
You do
Exactly.
it.
I've
Yeah.
seen so much of that on Instagram too. People are just like owning their bodies,
Yeah.
feeling sexual, putting it all out there, being completely naked. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, like I could learn a thing or two.
And
Like,
that-
I
and
feel like a
that's-
fraud
yeah.
over here.
I know.
And that's what we every time we see like I'll be like, oh, look at this post that they did, and Janelle's like, yeah, I saw it. Like, oh my goodness, like I could pick out that like ass in the lineup now. I've seen it
Yeah.
so many
Her
times.
tan lines. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, I know who
yeah,
that is.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Ron wanted to post. I have a private picture that I sent to him where I'm wearing like a white tank top, no bra, nips are hard, and it's
Sounds
like
sexy.
it's a
Sounds
very
great.
it's a very sexy picture. I'll show you later.
Okay.
But he was trying to like meme it up and put it on Instagram. I'm like, yeah, put my nipples on Instagram.
I
and
want
then I
them.
was like,
You
in my
can.
head, but I
You
can.
can.
But then I'm like, all these people, because like I don't have like I have I don't know, people that follow me on my personal page and then people that follow So What It's Just Sex. So like there's certain people on my
It's like a crossover.
it's a
In your
crossover.
life.
Yeah. And like I have, not that I'm being a character, like I'm totally who I am on this, a show.
Minus the
versus,
nipples.
Minus
Yeah.
well, I
The
sent you
nudity.
that nipple pic,
No, I know,
so like
but I
that's
want
who
to
I
share
am.
it with the world.
But like I just like wasn't prepared. I'm like, those are my nipples. I don't think I could do it. Like I was scared. So I give back to like giving her credit. She puts herself out there and she looks beautiful.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
they look amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm always
I
looking
can't remember
forward.
the guy, to be honest with you.
He
I've
does
seen some of him,
he
too.
does,
Yeah.
It's
Not
not,
as
as
many.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did one the other day when they weren't feeling well, and he was just laying there, and he had the towel over him, and
I didn't
And
see
I was
that
like,
one.
dang it, man.
I gotta hit
go.
the gym.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
God damn
That's
it.
exactly what I was thinking.
All right, no corn dogs for lunch.
I know.
Vodka soda with lime. See how that works that way?
Yeah, for dinner I'm just tequila and
I-
soda
Yeah,
water.
that's a
I'm with you,
diet.
brother.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like I'd love to run a lap, but we got to do this show.
Yeah,
Sorry.
priorities.
So, Reese and Rose, how did it happen? Like, what were you doing? What were you thinking? Like how did you just like wake up one morning and you're like, man,
I don't know. I mean,
You go ahead.
Okay.
The origin story.
Yes.
The origin story. Honestly, the origin story starts a long time ago. I think like we
Yeah.
were first started dating. I'm like 19 or 20 years old, and I don't know if it's Brian's birthday or Valentine's Day or some shit. I don't know. So I wanted to get us some toys, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go on like Adam and Eve or
Yeah,
something.
that
you
was the
know,
big one
like
back
whatever
then.
I could
Yeah.
find.
Yeah.
Amazon toys weren't a thing.
No.
So yeah, I go on to look and I'm like, fuck, like I can afford this.
Mm-hmm.
These are expensive. I'm not gonna spend $100, $80 on a dildo. Like I'm
Yeah.
flat broke at
Yeah.
that point. So I think we ended up with some like shitty, cheap, those like jelly toy
The ones
cock
that they
rings.
sell at Chevron.
Yeah,
Probably.
The bullet that like slides in and out
yeah,
at the
and-
worst possible time.
and it just breaks after you've like 3
Yes.
pumps and you're done.
Yes,
and it's
yeah.
like these weird little things. So I think that's what we ended up with. And at the time, like we didn't use toys. We didn't understand. So we're like, oh, I guess it's fun enough,
Yeah.
Didn't really go back to that stuff after it broke. And eventually I'm like, oh, well, like maybe I'll buy Brandon another like cock ring or something.
Yeah.
Like not that long ago. Like we really like
Yeah.
haven't like had that many toys because I'm like, I'm not going to pay this amount of
They're
money
so
for this.
expensive.
It seems like a luxury product.
yeah.
Like I can have an orgasm and have fun sex without this. So
Right.
why am I going to invest in all of these things? Like I just didn't know at the time that it kind of is a priority and it is such an enhancer to your sex life. But I didn't know. So I'm like, I would love to put out a product that is affordable to people so everyone can get this. It doesn't matter your bank account. Like, Pleasure doesn't have a face or a type, or only these type
Or
of
a
people get
price
to,
point.
or a price point.
Right.
Only these kind of people can experience this. Like, let's make this for everybody. So, once a month you can buy a new thing and have better sex with your husband or partner, woman, whatever.
I think the fun part about it is there's a lot of people who don't use toys and have never incorporated toys in their lives.
Yeah.
And whether that be in their personal sex life by themselves or that be in their sex life with their partner. So that's why it's super fun to be able to offer this stuff. It's like we're hooking everyone up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I want to
you're
hook
doing
up my
God's work
friends.
right
These
now.
are my
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, we wanted to do that and like not
Just
to
call me Jesus.
Sexual Jesus.
Sex Jesus.
That's the new album. The new album from Reese and Rose drops this fall.
But it's been fun. It's been so fun.
Dude.
We get to product test, which is awesome for
Amazing.
us, right?
Yeah, it's been
So, like,
really fun.
It's been so much fun. We never saw ourselves doing anything like this.
That's amazing.
A year
we're
ago, I never
becoming-
would have guessed this is what we would be doing today.
It's the
Yeah.
coolest fucking story ever. Like,
Yeah.
it's so fucking cool.
I know
I
that
like-
for us, like our first sex toy, I feel like is the same first sex toy for most couples, where it's just it's like that like wand thing, and it's like plastic, and I don't,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and it's just like this plastic
Just a
hard,
vibrator.
and it just kind of like has
Yeah.
a little
It's a
thing
little,
at the
little
end.
torpedo.
Yeah, like a
right?
little torpedo, and then I'm like putting it on Janelle's clit. I was like, "You like that?" She's like, "Yeah,
I guess,
yeah, no, that's good." And then I was like, and I'm sticking it in her. I'm like, "How's this? Is that good for you? You like it?"
Yeah,
She's
baby.
like, "Oh, this
Yeah.
is you're really hitting the spot."
Oh,
Yeah.
You know what the real like test thing for us was like her using it when I wasn't around.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because like I'd be like, "Oh, how'd you like that thing? Did you use it?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "Oh, I guess it sucks." But there's not a lot of like stuff for guys. So a lot of times the guy's just like the facilitator of the toy. So
Yeah.
pre exploration, I guess for us, I was just kind of like holding it, going, "Go for your, do
Yeah.
it." I'll just hold it there,
What
and
do you just grind on this?
yeah,
or
like,
what is-
like how does this
how do
work?
I do this?
I did get you a cock ring.
You did, and I was like, and
No,
it
it
just
was like the jelly one, like they were talking about.
And
It
by
was
the way, those are toxic. Don't buy those. But
This was
no.
like this had to be like 15 years ago
was
or
a long-
something.
it
It
was
was
a
like
long
the
time
jelly
ago.
ring, and then it had the little like spiky rubber
Thing on-
ball.
yeah.
So it like
Yeah.
rubs on your clit. And that was like amazing, but then it like broke, and then it got fuzz attached to it, and it was like
Ugh.
disgusting. It was like a one-time user. Like
Yeah.
you can't use it again.
Well, the terrible thing is like after sex, you just want to go. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So that like now you don't clean.
typical
it off.
guy.
You throw it in your drawer, you got some more
guy.
hair and
Rip it
shit
off,
on
you
it.
throw it against the
Oh,
wall. and then
Brian.
The next morning, all of a sudden, it's like cracking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And falling apart. And,
Yeah.
and the there takes little teeny tiny batteries.
Yeah, you're never gonna put new batteries.
Oh,
in
no.
there.
No, never.
Those toys always had the battery acid leak out.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you go to switch it out the
Yeah.
first time, because
Yes.
you're like, and then the bottom, you're like, is this on or off? Or,
You can't open it up. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a,
You
just when
unscrew
it's
it one
dead, it's
time
dead.
and then
And
it
then the
never
batteries
screws
are
back
just-
together.
no.
It's like
Yeah.
a one-time use
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
One time.
And and like you were saying, like you're spending this money on these toys, and then you can only use it 1 or 2 times.
Yeah,
This-
and
this
the stuff
sucks.
that you
Yeah.
like could use longer back in the day or like keep in your collection is too expensive. It's out of your price point. And if it's
Yeah.
out of your price point, then it just is,
Yeah,
you know, and
yeah.
you're not gonna explore that further.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
Yeah.
where the idea came from.
now, do you find that you are able to like talk about this with like all of your friends and stuff? Like are you, like so
Yeah,
now you
I'm
have
curious
sex
about
toys
that.
because I
Kind
feel
of.
like if we were your friends and you were like, we're gonna get sex toys, we'd have been like, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Right. No.
And-
so,
No, that's not really. You go ahead. That's not like my
Yeah,
experience.
so this
but-
is actually our first time talking very publicly about us having a sex toy
Oh,
company.
it's your coming out.
This is our coming
Your
out
coming
party.
out party. We're like the best people to have a coming out party with, to be honest.
We
No,
love it.
we're
we
I
love
mean,
it.
having
to be
a great
honest.
time.
Yeah.
So the cool part about it is, like, for instance, my parents don't even know about it right now because it's like kind of awkward to bring up. Like, hey, mom, dad, I'm trying to quit my job so I can sling dildos. You know what I mean? Like, how do you say that?
You're like on the corner of Hollywood Boulevard slinging dildos.
Fucking
Yes,
trench coat.
exactly.
And they would look at us like, you guys are fucking morons.
And that's exactly how they would perceive
Yes.
it,
Yeah.
right?
And I don't blame
but,
them. I
Yeah.
get it.
But either way,
Yeah.
like here we are, and we're hopefully going to see lots and lots of
Yeah.
people out there.
Yes.
And will know that hey, Brian and Chelsea they're selling sex products now, and that's really really cool. And this is exciting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, we have talked to some of our friends about it. Like, my mom knows about it, and she's been totally cool. As cool as she can be, it's still like a little awkward. But
it's not a butt. You're not selling butt plugs. Are
Is
you?
that what she said today?
And it's like, hold
Oh
on.
my
someday I'm
Hold
gonna
on.
sell butt plugs. Yes,
yeah,
mom.
you should sell butt
Yeah,
plugs.
they are
great.
We want
I'm
to.
ready.
Okay.
I'm ready to sell those, but we just aren't there yet. But yeah, no, like my other friends are cool about it. I mean, I feel like in the back of their mind, they're like, okay, you guys.
Right.
But I mean, everyone's been open.
It's
and
kind of
fine.
interesting. Like I think we've experienced the same type of thing. Like we're doing something different. Like you're doing sex toys and we're doing sex talk, but like we've experienced the same type of thing. Whether it be our friends or family, they're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
And-
what do you have to say about that? That's like new and different, you know? So maybe
Don't question
Yeah,
me.
like don't question me first of all. But like there's like and there's also a stigma attached to sex, and you're not supposed to talk about having a toy or several toys. Like
Right.
there's like a dirty thing that's attached to it, and that's not cool. Like that's I think we make a great pair or a foursome.
Oh, I
Foursome.
think we
Hey,
do.
love those.
I think we do.
Because we have like you're doing the toys, we're doing like the lifestyle part, and it's not dirty. And people out there's people out there that love toys and love to fuck, and you can't talk about it because there's like this
And there's
weird,
people out there that don't know they love toys yet.
Yes.
Like not that long ago, I didn't know how much it would enhance our, sex life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't always know that either. Like he was talking, I can't even remember when we got our first toy, but like
Yeah,
I'm
it was
40.
a long time ago.
I'm 40, and I can't really. There's nothing like notable on my mind until I was like 30-ish, like where I didn't feel comfortable with myself. I didn't know how to please myself. I didn't know how to have an orgasm like without Ron going down on me. Like there was only like one way that I could come.
Or if you were riding me.
Or if I was riding you,
Yeah,
there was
so-
only like certain strategic moves that I could make. But now that I've like explored and have played with my own body without him and with him, with toys, like that's how I got to know like myself sexually.
And what you like. And I think a lot of that comes with age, but I think it shouldn't. You know?
Right.
Like we need
Right.
to like teach younger people like this is okay, this is normal, like here's a vibrator, like wait for sex until you're ready.
Yeah.
And when you are like you'll know your own body. So you can tell your partner like what to do and what
Yeah.
you like, and they can tell you that and have a conversation. Not like, oh, like I'm too shy to tell them what I like.
Yeah,
You
if
know, that's
no
not
one
how
knows
sex
what
should
the
be.
fuck they like. Then how are
you
you?
should
How is that
know.
going to be healthy?
No.
It's going to be weird and awkward.
And
Give all the kids vibrators.
Yes, exactly.
And I don't know if I've shared the same experience. I feel like it's very similar, but I learned that if I just, touch it, it'll get there.
It gets there.
Yeah.
We're a little more complex than that.
Yeah, pretty much the same.
We're,
Yeah,
we're designed a little
same,
different.
same.
Well, it was super funny too because the other weird part for guys is like guys don't really have a lot of experience with cock rings.
No.
Okay, and it's like if your lady's asking you to wear a cock ring, it's like, well, what's wrong with me?
That's
Oh,
not,
what I mean?
that's not what it's
And the
like
same
at
thing
all.
with the toys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like when you incorporate a toy, like I've talked to a lot of guys in present day America, because
Yeah.
that's where I live. And when I
Present day America.
present
really?
day America,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
And when I talk to them about it, they're like, why would I use that? Because like we got a toy we've talked about on the show before, and I was like, oh my god, we got this new toy. You should totally like check this out. And they're like, what are you not doing? I'm like, I literally
amazing.
just upped my game,
Yeah.
like significantly, like
Yeah.
like
You're like, well,
incorporate-
can your dick curve 2 inches upward while it's in my pussy, and then also vibrating and licking my clit at the same time?
Yes.
I don't think your dick is capable of that, and that's quite all right.
And
None
straight
are.
up, every orgasm that your girl has makes the next one potentially better.
Oh,
She's
So
gonna want to be with you
definitely.
more and have more
Get
sex
that
with you.
girl some
Bring the
toys.
toys in.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yes.
Toys are so important, and this is a new revelation for us, which is interesting that you're talking about this being a new revelation for you, because I feel like you are ahead of the curve for your like demographic, and I think that's really awesome.
Their age
Yes,
range.
for your
I don't
age
know
range.
if we are, but I mean,
Babies.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
the tail end millennials,
tail end
whatever.
millennials.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes it so unique is because you're discovering this now, which means that then you're gonna have a part to play in the next generation to explore it younger than
Even
you.
younger, right?
And
Yeah.
you know, it's like I know people are out there like, well, what are you gonna have like 15-year-olds running around having orgasms? Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of like
Yes.
there's a lot of
Actually,
like
yes.
preteen, you know, like a teenage pregnancy out there, and and kids only can have sex one way in their minds.
Yeah.
You know, so and I know it sounds crazy, and we're kind of getting a little off here, but like if you as parents or as you know entrepreneurs and people who are trying to facilitate a product, you know, people target smoking towards teenagers, and that's bad for them.
Yeah.
How much would teenage pregnancy decrease if you can teach people who can have like a way to get off without having like a penis and a vagina and then coming without condoms because they don't know where to get them?
Exactly.
So it's a
Or they
multi-layered.
feel too awkward to use them or
Yeah.
talk about it
Yeah.
or whatever. And I think honestly, like younger generations are getting more exposed to safe sex, I hope, as long as we continue on the right path and educate
Right.
our children. But if they can be at home in their own room and have a vibrator, have whatever, and know that that's okay and that it's healthy to do, then
Sure
maybe
makes our
something
job-
like that would go down.
It sure
Yeah.
makes our job easier. You know what I mean? When we're older parents, you
That
know what I
just
mean?
made me think of something like there's like Juul commercials, vaping commercials. Not negative. They're advertising for like how it's better than cigarettes, which is fine.
Secondhand smoke commercials.
Yeah, all of that. Like,
everything.
why don't we have commercials about safe sex? Well, we do, but like
you know, by, like,
pleasuring
pleasure
yourself or
for,
like
for the individual.
or something
Yeah.
like anything to do with sex is like it's like it's
Yeah, you-
just
you don't wanna
taboo.
talk
It's
about
obscene.
It's
Yeah.
obscene.
You know,
it's
we can't have
taboo.
the children seeing
But-
a
Yeah.
vibrator
You know, we can
on
have
television.
Hobbs and Shaw, you know, the next Fast and Furious movie where they're shooting guns and blowing things up, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Right.
But
then
you
we
know,
have more of a problem with
but
that kind
but
of
it's like you know,
Yes.
teaching someone, and I feel like a lot of times, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm the naive male in this situation, but
Of
like,
course you are.
but like I feel like women's sexuality is so feared in today's day and age,
Yeah.
especially like a woman being able to get herself off. You know, that is they're like, oh, we can't have that.
Yeah.
And our sex life, and I'm telling you guys this, I'm looking right at you guys. Our sex life has been at its peak of amazingness after she learned how to do that stuff. Do you agree?
I
Like
agree.
after you've learned how to like get yourself off, whether
Yeah.
toy or no toy, just know what you like and your nooks and crannies.
Yeah, like at the age of I lost my virginity at 16, and the person that I lost we talked about this on previous episode, but it had nothing to do with me. It was just a person sticking a dick into another person and pounding away
Yeah.
until it happened for
Nothing
them.
sensual,
Nothing
nothing about you.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
And
Oh
that
God,
goes to
it's
speak
terrible.
about your education level and
Yeah.
also potentially his
Theirs.
education level.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
We need
This
to do
was
better.
this
by
was
our
very
kids.
it was a long time ago,
Yeah.
you know, and I didn't have kids at that time. I was 16, but like I didn't know any better because I didn't learn anything from my mother, my whatever, like
The people around
the
you.
people around
Yeah.
me. My dad always said, "Guys just want to fuck you. They just want your party. They just want your pussy." I was like, "Okay, like what does that even mean? I don't
Great,
even know what
great.
that."
I guess I'll give it to him.
Yeah,
then.
like, am I gonna
Fuck,
give?
what do
Should I
do?
give them my pussy or not give them my pussy? Like, is it gonna be good if I give them my pussy? Like, I don't understand what you're talking about. And so I really wasn't very well educated, and
Yeah, I don't even know what to do with
I
it.
don't know what
so,
to do with this. Like, I don't know. This guy's a big dick. I think I want to hop on top of it. Sounds like it'd be a good idea. I mean, I was kissing him. It was passionate. But then once it like came down to the act, I was like,
Oh, that's
well,
it.
this wasn't fun.
Okay.
This wasn't
Yeah.
fun at all.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't fun at all for a while.
Yeah.
Until I met you.
Oh, thank you. But
He was
but-
like little sensual Poppy Run. Yeah, he was.
But to be fair though, we had this weird connection when we first met because I had sex previous to you, and we've talked about this before, and I didn't have what I understood to be the kind of sex that we had 10 years into our relationship. So we kind of like found someone that we can be comfortable with, and then we learn together.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why we've been together for 22 years.
That is why
that's
we've
a
been-
thing too.
Yeah.
But you could also be with someone that you don't know very well
At all. You
at
can meet
all.
you can have a one night stand that's revolutionary. And if you're
Could you imagine having a one night stand where the other person is like, "Let me grab a toy. Let me
I got
make
some
you
stuff
come.
here for you.
I got some stuff here for you. Let me make you come
Yeah.
real quick."
No.
Could
That
you
would be
even?
ridiculous.
Well, someone that's willing
Right?
to like
Mind-blowing.
figure
Right.
out
Yeah.
what you
Right.
like and not just like, okay, let's do this, but like figure out what you
Yeah.
like, learn each other's bodies for
Yeah.
like that moment in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just,
I
like,
think that would be great.
anything different.
Yeah.
Right?
Anything different.
that's different than the, hey, like, you want to go back to
Yeah,
my
let me just go
place?
slide my dick
Yeah.
into you for
like,
like
oh, another
some
dick.
pumps, and then
Great.
we're good. You know what I mean? Like, imagine it, like how different the world would be if.
don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I don't even know. I
Can you-
think
can
we'd
you
have a lot
imagine?
more like communes with like orgies going on if that was the case.
Yeah, people
Which wouldn't
constantly
be bad.
chasing the O. This week on
Yeah.
Chasing the O.
Oh, no.
We
Yes.
follow young Sandra as she's going on a Tinder date with Barrett.
I mean, I don't know though because like, okay, correct me if I'm wrong.
oh
here.
God, this has never happened before.
Uh-oh.
Let's do it.
With guys, is it just the act of coming that like just pleases you completely?
Brian?
Just
Yeah.
that only.
Well,
Or
when you
could
don't
it
know
be
what
the
you're
build-up?
doing- So what? No, it's not. It has nothing to do with
Okay.
the build-up.
Yeah,
really.
that's what I
don't
thought.
think.
Women
right,
like the
Ron?
build-up.
Yeah.
Well,
in the early days. Okay,
Yeah,
think
but,
back
like-
when you were a
Think-
fresh-faced 15, 16 years old. Like, what are you trying to do? Like, I'm trying to fuck. That's it, right?
Trying
But
to
like,
stick
you
it
don't
in
know
that
what you're
thing.
doing. She doesn't know what she's
Yeah.
doing. Whatever it is,
You
what
don't
it
have
is.
vibrators.
Right.
Okay.
And then once you start getting into it, you're like, no, I'm gonna wine and dine her. I'm gonna
Yeah.
woo her. We're gonna do some
How is
warm up
that
stuff.
learned? How is that
I don't know.
sexiness
I have
learned
no
by
idea.
a man?
It's,
Like,
it's just, I don't know.
It
I
just
have no
comes with
idea.
time.
just natural because
I
he's a
think
liberal
so.
stream.
There's going to be like 60 dudes watching this going, what are you talking about, guys? That shit's instinctive. You just got to know how to dance.
Yeah,
you just know how to dance.
Yeah, but I think that it's primal. It's like I'm gonna stick a baby in you. Like that's where it comes from. Like I feel like that. Like where it's
Yeah.
like biological. Like I'm gonna stick a baby in you. It doesn't matter if you come. It doesn't matter if you're enjoying it. I'm gonna fucking impregnate you and populate the world.
Okay, can we sidebar real quick? Wait, no, we need to sidebar real
Yeah.
quick. So
Okay,
this just
okay.
reminds me of the first time I ever met Brian's father.
Oh no.
Oh, here we go. I
Oh,
love this.
Oh no. By the way, he's
So-
definitely gonna listen. So
And he's gonna love it because that's who he is.
Okay,
But
good. Hi, Brian's dad.
shout out, Dad.
Shout out.
Brian has two dads. I'm talking about his technical biological father.
Yeah.
Bri-
Yes,
Our
yes.
last name is Labroucherie.
Yes.
And the whole time I meet him, he's like, yeah, it's because we're Labroucheries. It's because we're Labroucheries. We're Labroucheries. And I'm like, what does that mean? But then eventually I didn't have to ask. He was like, you know what it means to be a Labroucherie? And I was like, what? He goes, it means we've got big dicks and know how to eat pussy.
Yeah. So that's the extent of my sexual education.
And every single one of his uncles knows that, and they all say it.
Wow.
I feel like
And,
we could be really good friends
it's
with
just-
your dad.
with my dad, with my family. Yeah.
It's natural.
Oh,
It
yes,
just,
yes.
I guess it is natural. They just learn.
Oh no.
You see, like, and then I think about, like, I don't know, like, I had only, like, a lot of women in my family, so I felt like I was always trying, you know, and I was raised to be like, you be good and don't touch anything, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember, like, just fingering a girl with button flies would be hurtful on my fingers. Like, you know what I mean? Because I didn't,
sucks, man.
I didn't unbutton it enough because I was so excited.
You're
you know?
showing your age right
know.
now. I'm sorry, but you're like
They understand.
That's
They
what you're
I don't
understand.
know what model of Levi's those.
You know? So like,
button flies
so
from
I
like
would-
the 90s.
yeah, I would get like the first button
my
out,
face.
and then I would stick my. And basically, this was my level of what fingering would be like.
So you could push on the clit a little bit.
Yeah.
That's
On
awesome.
I thought, and I know I ripped hundreds of hairs out because back then, no one knew to like
No one
shave
was
it.
shaving.
No,
Full
so
push, man.
so
my
Look,
Guys have always had a bush. Excuse me.
Yeah, but
you still don't shave your
our
shit.
appendage reaches beyond our bush.
You still got a bush, and if you know how to deep throat, your mouth is making it to your bush.
That's true.
You gotta trim the tree
Yeah.
or trim the
Yeah,
bush
yeah.
to make the tree look taller.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you were the only person I've ever known that deep throated my dick, honey. Back then, girls did not put dicks in their mouths. That
I'm
was
sorry
not a thing.
for you.
Now, it's not like nowadays.
I
Like,
put dicks in my throat
I know.
before I met you.
I know, but I didn't run into many people that did.
Okay, but my point is, have you ever met a man with a landing strip? Let's just talk about that real quick.
Yes.
You
We're looking at him.
Oh
He's right over here.
Oh my god! So now we have to see your.
Let's talk about your hygiene and your.
So
I don't know
now,
if we call it a landing strip. You know, it's more just.
so now we
Go
need
ahead.
to
A
see
patch?
your.
Is it
Yeah.
a
Oh, no,
patch?
no, you don't get to see my
It's
soul.
Now we need to see your big dick and your soul patch.
There's a follow-up episode coming. It's gonna be Brian's soul patch.
and then teach
big
everyone
dick.
how to eat pussy. Can we just?
It's gonna be. We'll do a master class.
A master
Yeah, I
class.
mean, it's
I think-
it's a piece of art.
Yeah, it is.
We might be able to charge money for this. Actually, we might be.
Yeah.
Guys need to know how to do
Guys
it.
need to know how to-
Come on, you got a finger.
I don't know. I feel like if I was gonna pay for a master class on how to eat pussy, I wouldn't pay for the guys version. I would watch a woman
True
tell
that. True
another
that.
woman
Absolutely.
how to eat
Amen.
pussy.
Absolutely.
That's a really good win
Yeah,
for you right now.
that's why I
Are you
just-
trying to like collect points?
I know. I was just gonna try to like
Trying to collect women points.
talk
aren't
about
you?
why I watch so much lesbian porn.
You do
Fair.
actually. That's your favorite one.
That's my favorite.
It's research.
Yeah. After
research.
men, lesbians have the most orgasms. That's
true.
Do you ever watch porn with women with toys? Have you?
No.
I have.
It's actually very sexy.
Wow, that was really dry.
Yeah,
I
right
definitely
away. No hesitation.
Is this market research that
Yeah.
you were doing?
No, I haven't though.
It's
Actually,
good. It's actually really sexy. Well, some of them are weird, but just like every genre, there's a couple out there that are weird.
That are
But
I think it
good,
depends
though.
on the toy
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
oh, there's one particular female. I know I keep going back to her. She's like one of
Allison
my
Parker?
yeah, Allison Parker.
So good.
She puts the dildo on the floor and she like bounces on it and all.
Yeah.
And
Very nice.
it's a dildo.
It's like okay.
It's huge.
Oh,
it's
it's
like
a
this
dildo.
tall. I feel like it's like this tall.
Alright.
Yeah,
This is-
it's a person.
She takes the whole thing.
It's,
Yeah.
Takes
it's
the whole
everything.
thing.
She's basically taking a person inside
She's
of her.
taking a
my
person
God.
inside,
Goodness.
but it's very sexy. It's not
is.
like atrocious. It's not like I don't know. I'm so dirty. I've seen the ones with like wine bottles up in there.
Oh, yeah.
Champagne bottles.
And then they push the champagne bottle
Yep.
out.
They like pop
Yeah.
it out.
Oh my God.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this one is just, it's a it looks like a guy's dick, but she suctions it to the floor.
Yep.
And then she like twerks on it and does her thing on it. And
Yeah,
it's
the-
very
the-
I feel like there's
sexy.
some things I need to see right
Yeah,
now.
the suction cup is a good additive to the toy.
We
'cause-
haven't opened theirs
Yeah,
yet,
we're
so we don't
right,
yeah,
know.
but
we don't
and then
have
that-
suction cups yet, but
Okay.
we'll get there.
It's a
okay?
good
That's
it's a
when
good
everything-
good
additive
additive.
because
Yeah.
you could put it in the shower and then
Yeah, I've seen that
go to
for
town
sure.
on it.
Yeah,
Can
you
I
know-
talk about my own toy?
Yeah.
Okay.
What
I'm
were we
just saying. Married couple moment. It's like, excuse me, have you ever fucked a toy in the shower? No. So how can you even talk about it?
Well, you
My bad.
Thank you.
He could.
Anyways.
Yeah, I
could.
Rolling eyes. Rolling eyes emoji. Sorry.
oh Lord.
Married couple moment number
Married-
14.
Number 14.
It's okay. We live
14.
them. We
It's
live them
okay.
too.
No,
It's
so we like
fine.
the ideas because you guys got to keep them coming. You know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I mean? When
Yeah.
people like tell you about all their crazy sex toys that they've had,
Yes.
Yeah.
and we find one that's like super rad, then
need to know.
we're gonna do it. And we had something that we prepped for you guys in the means of a coupon code
Oh, that's right.
for our website.
So
Yes.
first and foremost, Reese and Rose is on Instagram. And can you let everybody know the specifics? Because it's like at Reese.
Well,
and
I
then
think the
underscore.
easiest way for anyone to find us is just to go to our website, www.reeseandrose.com.
And that's REECE.
REECE and rose.com. And we have a link to our Twitter, our Instagram, to buy our products. It's all right
it's
there.
all
Yeah.
right there.
It's the
right.
easiest
Easy
way.
to find. Easy
Yeah.
to
Right.
find.
And if you go to our website, So What It's Just Sex, it'll be up there by the time that this airs. So
Awesome.
you can
Cool.
there'll be a link on our website to your website.
Awesome.
So we prepared a 20% off, and it's not 20% off of one item. None of that bullshit.
Yeah.
We're doing 20% off of your entire order for
Oh,
anyone who
nice.
listens to the show and
Okay.
uses the code SWIJS.
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 So it's basically the so what it's just sex.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
It's the
SWIJS.
Yeah.
That's our
Absolutely.
initials.
That's easy.
Acronym? Is it acronym?
acronym.
Yes.
Yes, the
Yeah.
acronym.
Swidges.
Switches.
Yes,
SWIJS.
SWIJS. So, but here's the thing, though. So this is kind of like blowing my mind because we've seen your products on your website, which is a beautiful website, BTW,
Yes,
Thank
very
you.
classy.
but like your toys are really well priced.
Yeah.
I like if I'm not like I could be totally wrong and I might have seen a different one, but isn't it like $39 for like the wand or
The wand is $28.99.
Cheap.
Yeah,
Yes.
on Amazon.
On
So
Amazon.
And our
our
website,
website.
it's the same on our website, but they're just on our website. It's just like
It's
solid
1
pricing.
cent more because
It's
of
$29,
legalities with
yeah,
Amazon.
whatever.
But point being is the reason why we really wanted to hit that price point is because we wanted to make it available to as many people as possible. Not someone who's willing to, we want it to be available for people who have hardly any money but
Yeah.
still want to have sexual pleasure.
Right.
And that can either be for themselves or that can also be for themselves and their partner.
Yeah, so I mean, everything is kind of in that range. Like, I think our most expensive toy right now is the massage roller.
Yeah.
And I think we have it priced at $38.
It's
so that's the one I saw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So-
the
so-
most expensive
So
one.
let's look at the one that is the wand because the wand seems to be the one that's getting like all the play. Was that the first one you had out?
No, this is
that
the
one,
blue
you're right.
vibe.
Yeah.
Was the wand your first one that
Yeah.
you released?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so I'm super excited to see this now. We
Here,
did
Janelle,
get
you
this.
Open it. You go
It's like
for it.
Christmas morning. I was.
Yeah. We did pick this one up, and we're gonna have a separate video of Janelle talking about it.
Yes.
So, and if you look at the box for Reese and Rose, it is a beautiful logo.
Beautiful. Very classy.
So it's the REECE and Rose.
We have instructions for use, just in case.
Here, let me see.
And
Let
those
me see
instructions are garbage, so just throw them away right now.
So let's look at
My
the
manufacturer was
instructions.
going to charge me an arm and a leg to change them, and I was like, no, I'm not charging people more just to change these horrible instructions
Yeah.
that talk about horrible things.
So just in case you're wondering, it's an all-over body massager, and you use it on your tired feet, legs, neck, back, and shoulders. I think we talked about this when we talked on the phone a week ago. I remember my mom had a massager
yeah.
for her
Was
back.
it this big?
It was really big, and it had a long cord, which
Yeah.
like nowadays is super dangerous.
No, some still do have cords.
Right,
a lot
like
of them
that.
do.
Yeah.
So, and I was thinking about it like
Is
that.
it plugged into the wall?
It would plug into the wall.
That's weird.
Right next to the bed.
That's so odd.
Yeah.
Even though it's meant for your
It's like your
back and
heating blanket,
shoulders.
but
Sure.
also your vibrator.
But it's like I think like that's like the perfect example of what we talked about earlier. It's like people were so ashamed of having these. Now, granted, our sex toys aren't out on display when our kids walk in our room. There's just like a laundry list of like, what am I gonna have? Which sword will I
They're
put
on the
into my
shelf.
wife? Yeah. No,
Sword.
which sword will I, sheath into my wife this evening? But it was just kind of like these people, they had this giant massager.
But
And-
what was available to them back then in the 70s? You're talking
No, I'm
about
talking about the 80s. Yeah, I'm not that old.
What was
Calm
even
down.
available to them back then?
But I remember seeing it once. My grandma had it next to her bed, and I'm just like,
she probably used it for massaging her back.
she probably did,
She
but
probably did. But maybe not. She was
but
like
we didn't have a
maybe-
dishwasher
She
back
had a
then.
bunch of kids.
How did
so.
how was it cleaned?
Well,
I don't know.
the Hitachi one was one of the very, very first
And that's still
ones.
popular
It's still a
nowadays.
thing.
Still
Yeah.
popular, but it was absolutely designed for back and shoulders
Yeah.
and maybe your
But
butt.
someone put it
But
down their
someone
pussy.
It
slipped
was like,
and
oh,
put it in a
yeah.
place they didn't
That's-
intend.
that's
and
where it
realized,
goes.
Yeah, that's
Wait,
actually where
and
it
that's
goes.
usually very typical of men because we put our dicks on everything.
Whatever,
We're like, how
man.
does it feel
What's this
against the
one
wall?
called?
Yeah,
What's the name of it?
We just call it our massage wand. It's like a mini wand.
it's a
but-
mini wand,
Probably
right?
not charged. Oh, it's very.
No,
So-
it comes with a little bit of charge, actually.
Yeah.
should.
Does it come with an orgasms amount of charge?
I think I think
Maybe,
I
yeah.
would come in like 2.5 seconds with this.
And
Oh, yeah?
By
Yeah,
the way,
let me
that's,
touch it.
That's just on low, by
That's
the way.
Well,
Ooh.
okay. We're talking.
Holy
like,
crap!
It's got like 20 patterns of vibration and
Are you
9
kidding me?
and 9 like speeds.
Yeah,
I've
fine.
I've touched all of her
yeah.
vibrate
But that
is.
body safe silicone is one of the reasons why we
soft.
specifically
Everyone,
asked for it.
needs toys like that.
And there's a lot that goes into creating these and creating the textures, creating the feel of the toy, the different vibrations. We cut these open
Yeah.
and looked at
look
the
at this.
springs and the motors inside.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of different manufacturers make something like very similar, like exactly like this, but some of them are different inside or have different, batteries
the
or
camera can
whatever.
catch
Some
this,
of them
but
just the
It
head.
has different settings.
Oh yeah.
It's just buzzing, 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 buzzing.
Wait till you see the cockroach.
Okay.
Do it.
Yeah.
The little bat ears. I'm like hitting my microphone because I'm getting so
Let me see.
excited.
Yeah. So that particular toy too, what we also liked
not
about
doing
it is that the actual like
Live on video, let's
handhold
try to have an
vibrates as
orgasm.
well. Not just the head of it. You know what I mean? Oh.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this thing is strong.
It's very strong.
It's not even fully charged.
Oh
It's like
my
it comes with like a half charge.
Ooh.
That sounds great.
Oh,
I like how you included
Oh.
this nice note from you guys
Yeah,
in there.
you
I'm not
just-
going to
What-
read it because it'll be a surprise for anyone who
Okay.
reads it. But
Yeah.
No,
Just
but
a
it's
little
just a thank
It's a
you,
little
and it's super
personalized
fun
note.
because anyone who buys
No,
these things,
that's
we're
really-
just so like happy to like get
Yeah.
to them. Like I
Yeah.
said, we're hooking everyone up. You know what I
Gosh.
mean? It's
Everyone
super
needs
cool.
this. It's important. Yeah.
what if we just started making porn with your toys?
Oh
I
Lord.
mean,
Let's do that.
I would show up for the live
Is there-
audience of that.
oh, right.
I'm like, I would record. I would definitely do that. Like, if I could quit my job and just watch porn all
I'd be
day.
there
and-
for it. I'm coming.
Why are
love
we
it.
not doing this
I love
right
it.
the fuck now? I think
Yeah.
there's an audience for that.
So the reason,
like it like
the basic reason, just a little backstory. The basic reason why we went with that wand first is because we thought it made the most sense as like the entry level
Yes.
to the market because
And
it's
we wanted to sell on Amazon too because we could reach a lot of people.
right.
Yeah.
And Amazon has this super fucked up in my mind. Kind of restriction on sex toys.
Right.
They don't want you to market them. They don't want you to pay for
You can't do advertising.
advertising for them, and they make them really, really hard to search. And that's something that we want to become big enough to the point where we're bigger than
Yeah.
what people can restrict us. That no matter what, they're going to find us. And that comes with having a really cool price point and making sure that we do stuff like this and communicate with our people.
And have an audience on Instagram too, like
Yeah.
which we've been working at
and
building.
spread the word and genuinely care about our people. And
Right.
that's
So,
why it's fun.
and this is a guy's perspective, so it's going to sound super naive, but
Of course.
with just touching it without using it or anything like when we've gone to porn shops and we touch their stuff all the time,
Yeah.
and there are some that can feel that powerful, and there I will tell you right now, if you have not gone, they're in the $100 to $150 range.
Yeah.
I did not expect it to seem so powerful. So when you were like, "Oh, I can come in like 2.3 seconds with this or whatever," I thought you were just being like, like for the show.
Funny.
Yeah, like But when I touched it, like, wow, that was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And for the price point that it's at, people.
No, we've
It's worth it.
We have we have a whole slew of toys, and they're generally between $70 to $150.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
normal,
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
like the average price range. So
Yeah.
if I could get a toy like that for under, you said $30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like incredible.
And that's not to say that like there aren't amazing toys out there that are in a higher price point and they're, they don't do what they say and they're great. But if you need something that's at a lower price point, that's probably going to do the job for you too, or it's something to like try and like you can
There's
experiment.
no jelly involved in any
No
of our
jelly
products,
toys.
okay?
Yeah,
So
Say no to jelly toys.
all super,
So
super
we're
body
opening
safe
up a
silicone.
second one.
I'm opening up the biggest black box.
Yeah.
Because that's like my style.
So what's in the big black box?
This is our massage roller. So this is kind of fun for like couples massage. The rolling head vibrates independently from the shaft, which also vibrates.
So I was
So
looking
it's a
at,
rolling head, and the shaft leg is also basically like a dildo.
I saw your pictures on Instagram,
Yeah.
and it did not. the perspective
It
was
is-
off.
well,
it
when-
didn't look that big.
When
Right.
I saw it for the first time too, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that toy. But then I saw a video of how big it is, and I was like, it is pretty big. Oh, and we just have to like long hold it.
Yeah. So what's
We're gonna
really
long
Here,
hold
let's
this.
long hold
You know,
the
this
shaft.
reminds me of the other one that we have.
Yeah.
And so you just keep
you can feel it
clicking
vibrating through the table.
to go. I think this is 10 speeds for each one, and they vibrate separately. So this is just
So
this
her
part.
current favorite toy looks very similar to that, but it does not have this on the other end.
Yeah.
So this is really, really good for for just about anything, but for couples massages that kind of turn into something different. You know what I
Something
mean?
a little sexy.
You gotta bust out the
Every massage I
coconut
give
oil.
Janelle turns
we
into
use
something
coconut oil,
else.
too.
Absolutely.
Dude,
Yeah.
Brian wasn't like so sold on this. I'm like, hold on, let me just slather you in coconut oil and give you a massage. And he was
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Coconut
Yeah.
oil is like, ooh.
So, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Let me
This
see.
might be my new favorite.
Even
Ooh.
aside from the dildo part, I'm like, oh, just roll that on my
Yeah,
body.
and the
Oh.
dildo part is kind of similar to the classic torpedo that
Yes,
we talked about,
yes.
but it's covered in that body safe silicone.
Oh, it sounds so good.
We just gotta stop and
Ooh.
listen. Yeah.
I know.
You
it
kind
has
of like
both
me to
ends.
like massage that on your front even more than your back, huh?
It feels good, dude.
Yeah.
It feels good everywhere. So
The other night we were playing with the toy, and I was like, "Do you feel?" Because like sometimes when he's fucking me, I'll have the toy on my clit, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, "Do you feel that?" Like, had it on like the most powerful setting, and he's like, "Oh yeah."
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I could feel it. It's amazing. And this definitely proportionally does not come across.
It doesn't. It looks so much
In
smaller.
pictures.
Everyone's
Yeah,
like, I
right.
thought it wasn't as big as it is.
No,
it's
when
big.
I saw this in pictures, I was like, oh, okay, I could see. In fact, I actually didn't even think it vibrated. Maybe I just didn't read it enough, but I was just like, oh, this.
Yeah, and
Man,
it
can
doesn't
you
vibrate at
imagine?
the same time, but
But
It's still with the other
one
toy,
or the other.
The other
Man.
toy that's like similar to that, even still, like when I'm using it on
feel that.
myself, I'm alternating between both sides.
Right.
So
Right.
that would work the same way.
Oh,
you can't
not-
feel the vibration on both,
Dude,
at the
Yeah.
same
It makes
time.
sense.
I'm telling you, like even just like what you were reading earlier. Oh, it's a muscle and back and neck and whatever. I'm like,
really,
dude,
really
honestly,
good.
like if I come home and I hurt my
Dude,
neck or my
it's
shoulder,
universal.
I have another story.
hey babe,
about
can you get one of your vibrators? I need some
Can you just hit my shoulder up real quick? Thank you. Thank
This
you.
feels so good. Right? Wait, no, look, I'm not even joking. Look at that.
No, I need this. Oh.
Look at that.
Right in here.
It's like
light
Oh.
some candles,
Yeah.
pour some
No,
wine. Let's
guys,
do it.
We're changing this. This is turning into something else.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're used to that. We've done that before.
oh
It's
my
totally
goodness.
fine.
Yeah.
This is okay. So, just in case if anybody winds up on your website or they go to your Instagram, just know that
And
the
how much is this one?
That one's 38. It's not on Amazon yet.
Wow.
but it's on your
'Cause
website.
It's on our
website.
website for purchase,
Okay.
yes,
I
with
love
the
the
coupon
feel of
code
it.
if anybody wants it. Yeah.
Yes,
Absolutely.
and the coupon code is the SWIJS, and you get
Exactly.
20% off your total purchase.
Total
So you
purchase.
can
Not
get
off
these.
of one item. You
You
can
can
order
get
all
these-
4 of them.
You can get all 4 because they're different sizes. You get to use them at different intervals. We have more than one sex toy. You
Yeah.
shouldn't just
Yeah.
have one sex toy because sometimes you feel like you want to use something. I say this, but it's really not me that's using it. It's you that's using it. So you like having options.
Thank you. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate you
Let
giving
me
me
let
the
me
floor.
defer
I
to
really
you.
appreciate that. We do have multiple toys, and there are some times where I want something maybe a little bit more sensual, like a massage, or I could go to my, similar to a dick dildo, where it's like the bigger one that I'm like, I just want to get fucked tonight. So I'll go to that one. So it just kind of depends on your mood. So you
Yeah.
can't just have just one. We also have one that's like just a little vibrator that like sits on your clit. So
Yeah.
there's nothing that goes inside. Like it's not like a G-spot stimulator or anything. It just sits on top. And so we have like multiple where we've
And then
invested
I
money
feel like
in
the
them.
one that one that you're talking about right now, the little tiny one, that one vibrates really hard, but I
but
feel
not
like,
as strong as that one.
And that one we spent like $150 on.
we definitely did.
And the
I'm
vibration.
not, I'm not
50
even
bucks?
playing.
Like,
No.
does it make you breakfast?
No, it's
No.
exactly.
No, but because I try really hard to make sure that she keeps coming
Yeah.
all the time with
Aw,
new stuff. So I'll
such
get
a
her
good
something, but I
husband.
feel like the vibration of that one, though it's really good, and it just sits on its own, the vibration didn't feel as strong as an uncharged version.
And
of
it's all about
first
the
one.
vibration. That's what gets you
Yeah.
to where you need to be.
Yeah, and what I honestly like about the massage wand best is that the speeds, when you like click the speeds, it goes down and gets kind of like rumblier. It's not necessarily like a buzz your clit off. If that's not what you want, you know. Like
Some of them, you're like, I can't feel my clit anymore. It's been buzzing so hard.
yeah,
Do you ever
I don't
feel
know
like
what's
that?
going on. Does it feel good or bad?
Yeah, it's like so strong
Yeah.
that sometimes it makes it almost numb.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you start to play with these too, you'll go through a function that you're like, man, I've never used this one before, but like that's what I need right
The
now.
wand has the
Yeah.
most functions for sure. It's
Absolutely.
awesome.
Oh. Well, you can edit this all out. Oh, he's got to reset it. We ran out of space.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah, so,
Anyway,
yeah, but we have spent like way too much fucking money on sex toys.
We totally have.
Ron wants
well,
the
I don't
torso.
think it's spending too much money if like that's.
It was
you
great.
know, like
It's great.
Yeah, if it works out and like it's totally worth it to enhance your
there's a
bedroom
level-
situation.
There's a level of naivety, even for people like us who explore the sex toy market.
Yeah.
You know, you assume that there's a price point attached to other stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the areas where, as people use your product, they're going to start to be like, oh, this is, I see what's going on
Yeah,
here.
maybe you
Yeah.
can get a like similar situation without necessarily having to spend all that money,
Yeah.
especially if you don't have it. You
Like
know,
like a lot of people, like let's just use like cars for example. When they find like a car that they really like or a
Yeah.
brand, like oh I'm a Chevy guy, like all right I only buy Chevys, right?
Yeah.
But they commit to it, and it's like you know what, man? Maybe there's other things out there. You don't have to commit to one brand, so you can kind of explore, take things that you like about one thing, and then apply them to another. And what's cool about it for us is we have the control to create what we think is what people want.
Yeah.
So we're
or
kinda
test it
dabbling
out
now,
first and
you
be
know?
like, yeah, like we like this or we don't like this. This worked for us, or that was kind of whatever. You know.
yeah.
Do you guys have anything yet that's like, what's the one that you've always wanted?
The torso?
No, not the torso.
Oh, I heard
Oh
about
God,
the torso.
no.
The torso is like multiple hundreds of dollars.
That's like a
this-
horror movie, bro.
It is.
It's really weird.
That's some Ted Bundy shit.
No, it's really fucking
no head,
weird.
no legs. Just
You know what?
Fucking a thing.
It's like, at
Apparently,
least
we're
this can't
not-
talk back. Like, that's fucking weird.
Apparently, this isn't a judge-free zone.
I'm sorry. I'm
No, and
You're
I,
right. You're
I
right.
did
If
buy.
you want to do it, it's fine.
No, judge away because it's fucking weird. I bought him like an ass with a pussy and a butthole, and it was
Yes,
like
I've
this.
seen those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I bought that for him, and because we like, I think I don't know, it was some weird
Like
part in our
jiggly
life.
and you
Yeah.
can slap
I mean,
it.
was
and-
it cool? I've never
Did you
had
like
one.
it?
No, it got dirty, and then he
it,
didn't know
like-
how to clean it up.
no.
Like, how do you clean it out?
Okay, you
Here's
want
the
to make
thing.
this sound really sexy?
Throw it in the dishwasher. it'll be
Okay,
fine.
so you just get one of those Perry bottles like women use when they have a baby. Okay, so
Just douche your toy. Douche your toy.
and then you douche it.
douche it.
Yeah, I'm
That's
assuming.
Didn't think about that.
Super
That's
I
hot.
not
told
the
him
part.
to get a baby bottle
No.
brush and scrub it up in there.
No.
Ooh.
I didn't know. He never
That's
used it
not the
again.
part-
You
that's
used
not the
it
part
one
that got-
time.
that's not the part
Is that
that
not
got
true
dirty.
though?
The
That's not the
asshole
part
part?
that got dirty. No.
The one time you
No,
used the butthole, yeah.
Because what they did was when they made it, they made the outside with the same stuff that's on the inside.
Yeah.
So the outside would collect hairs and all that
Oh.
stuff. So you can't. And then when you try to clean it off, the hairs are just like forever stuck in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it basically becomes like a giant
dude
fuzz
butt.
ball. You know.
Yeah.
I totally understand that because okay, so all of our products are made with body safe silicone. It's wonderful and
Yeah.
like
They're not
It's
sticky.
easy to clean.
Yes.
It's not sticky.
very smooth.
But hairs will stick to it.
just clean
okay.
it off.
I've got 2 dogs and a cat. No matter how much I clean my house, there's like something floating around.
yeah.
I take all these amazing pictures of these products and I'm like, yeah, I love it. Once it's blown up on the computer, it's like there's a hair in every single one of these.
One hair.
One
that you
hair.
just never
But this,
saw.
Didn't
this,
see.
this is
Yeah.
I put it on my bed, and my bed has a blanket, and all of the fuzzies from the blanket and everything and then I'm sitting there and I'm basically like fucking
like
a
a
Muppet.
magnet.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to fuck a Muppet.
Yeah, that's not as sexy.
So what's the next one we have? Let's open another
Yeah,
one. These,
absolutely.
let's do the cock ring.
No.
Let's save that
cock
for the
ring
last.
Oh,
The
you want
cock
that to
ring
be
is
you
last?
got to
Okay,
save the
I'm
cock
sorry.
ring. I was gonna say the same thing.
Okay,
save the
we're
cock
okay.
ring for
All
last.
right, I'm fine with it.
All right.
Yeah,
You guys run the show.
Taking the
'Cause-
guy's direction here.
because
We're just here.
I can't wait to see the
We're
cock
just
bat
here,
ring.
the ones using
Oh,
it
the
mostly.
Batman.
Yeah.
Fine.
See, I'm a closet nerd myself,
Yeah.
and just the fact that we called it the Batman.
Yeah,
cock
it's
ring,
so
like,
good.
Oh, yeah.
So fucking
So
soft.
so this design, and again, who am I? I'm just a guy. But this design is very popular.
It's
Yes.
it does this.
So
Does that mean something?
That means
like
it's
shake
amazing.
that thing. You know
Shake
what
it.
I'm saying? Like
Shake it.
It's
Oh.
totally bendable.
Uh-oh, look at Janelle's eyes light up.
You're looking at me like
Yeah.
you're about to fuck me or something.
No, I was
We
going to
just-
fuck you with it.
It's totally bendable.
I was
Yes.
afraid to bend it too
no,
far,
no,
but
you
don't.
can. You can.
just bend it.
Yes.
You can totally bend it.
Can it reach both holes?
What?
I'm just
Let me
asking.
try.
It could.
I mean,
Let me try.
maybe.
Oh, and it vibrates. See, and
Yes.
I still.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that
Okay,
feels
so
really
this
good.
is gonna be
And
fun
then so
later.
the button underneath, you just keep pressing. And
You know
then-
what you could do, even if it you probably couldn't insert it in both holes, but you could definitely
You
like
still
You could
tickle.
definitely
vibrate the other.
tease,
Yes, tease.
touch.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
You know what I
Totally.
mean? Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, listen,
And
people.
so I think this is 10 vibrations.
You
also.
really need to. I mean, so that you can follow along with what we're talking
No,
about.
it's
If you
so
have
s-
not gone to the website yet,
feel it.
it's REECE and Rose.com.
Yeah, and these all need to like be charged. This is like it just comes with like a preliminary charge,
Yeah.
but
They
Yeah.
all need to be
God
charged
damn,
now.
But
that
those-
feels so good.
My favorite thing
we
about
use
Hold on,
that
I
all
gotta-
the
of
time,
these-
honestly.
My
That
favorite
one's
thing
good.
about
I
all
feel
of
like
these
I
is
was
the
telling-
soft feel of the silicone. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say I feel like I was telling Brian I was like
Listen to that.
ours,
Ooh.
yeah. But our tester one, I was like, Brian, I feel like ours is like more wiggly, like whatever. And he was like, it's because you use it all the time.
You've worn it in, not out.
Yeah.
That is wow.
Pretty
so
cool.
so we're blown away. This is like
No,
a
I
real.
feel
You
like
don't have to flatter us. Like we're just happy to be here.
No,
I'm getting
seriously.
turned on
Absolutely.
just at the thought of using these. I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be really cool later.
Yeah,
I like
So-
this one's gonna be good.
so soft.
I feel like now we need to do an entire episode just on what you thought about each one, because
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
you get very like thing with your you'll be like, well, the way that felt against my clit was, and I'm like,
How
oh,
else would I say it?
I know, I'm excited. Look at me. I don't even know how to contain myself. I'm like, we need.
Pumped up. Brian,
I
we
was
need
like-
to get out of here. We just have to-
We're gonna need a break.
We're gonna have
break
to go.
time.
We're
Pause.
gonna need a
Intermission.
break. So what's this one called?
It's so easy to turn on.
Honestly, we call it our liquid silicone blue vibe.
Right.
That's all we call it.
Yeah.
And how
It's
much is
so
this one?
soft. You've felt it, right?
That is the least expensive, and
No,
it
I
is-
think it's the same as the one.
It's the same as the one.
Yeah.
It's the $29.
29 on our website.
Yeah.
So basically, so far, from what we understand, is that you people at home can get all 4 of these for the price of just the one toy
That we bought
we got.
where we live at some unknown, no, we won't name the place where we bought it from,
Yeah.
but
But
Yeah,
you know,
you can.
and that's what we want is we want people to kind of feel that way and say, "Hey, look, like instead of taking a chance on this $300 toy,
Yeah.
I can save tons of money and I can test different things that I don't know if I like it or
Yeah.
not, and then say, cool, now I know what I like."
Yeah, or maybe you're going to like it and you can grow your collection. Like,
Absolutely.
But do you think that there's like an age that women become comfortable using a toy? Because I feel like when I was younger, I'm like, no, I can't do that. No, that's too
I mean,
dirty."
I know when I was 19, 20, I wanted to,
Yeah.
but I couldn't afford it,
Yeah.
you know? So I hope that there's not like an age. I think
Mom,
people
can
do
I
get
have
more.
$30 for a vibrator?
Yeah, exactly.
How many
Or
lawns do I have to
I'm
mow?
going to the sex shop. Can I get a 20? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like that would not get you anything.
Right.
But yeah, I know. I hope not. Like I hope that
Kids
it's
nowadays have enough money to like drink fucking Starbucks every day.
do
It's
whatever
like,
they want. So
Yes.
I hope that becomes less of a stigma and
Right.
whatever. But
Right.
I think as you age, you do become more comfortable with your body
Mm-hmm.
and you are like more cool with trying out different things in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Like I was just telling Brian, like I didn't even let you put it in my butt until after we were married. Like I didn't.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, no, like what's gonna happen? Like that's gross,
I
you know,
know.
whatever. And
Oh, it always starts off with that's gross.
it's an
Yeah.
exit only hole,
Yeah.
you know. But
And then it's like you stick a finger in there, and then it's like, okay, well that was fine, but nothing else.
Right.
yeah,
That
no,
was
the
fine.
first time
And
he was
then
like
you
trying to like touch
graduate.
my butt. I'm like, no, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, but like we got there.
Yeah.
So did we.
Honestly,
Yeah.
like not even that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we like finally like cracked the anal code, like
Yeah.
numbers swirling around your head, like I did it. This
Isn't
is
it
how
great?
you do it.
Dude,
so
and then
great.
once you've done it, once
Yeah.
you figure it
You
out,
crack the
it's
code.
like, oh
Yeah.
man, like what
Yeah,
the hell were
it's
we thinking
funny.
the whole time?
I did anal like back when I was younger because I was trying to please this dude, but then I realized that I really did like it. And when I married Ron, I think we've talked about this too.
We did,
We're
we did.
repeating things now.
No,
we've
that's
come
okay.
to that
Okay.
point. But this is in a different context. But when I met him, I was like, oh, we can't do that. Like the guy that had initially done that, like I was like a dirty little whore. And then when I was marrying Ron, I'm like, you can't do that to your wife.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it
Right.
was like this weird thing in my mind. Like you can't do that to me. You can't dirty me up that way. But then I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
And
Eventually, it was like,
it's
why?
like, and now it's
It's
like,
like,
are we
no.
dirtying? Are
Yeah.
we dirtying
Yeah.
tonight? Dirty
Come on my
me.
tits
Yeah.
tonight?
Dude, I
Or where are you
can't
coming
wait.
tonight?
This
Yeah.
is
My
the
mouth,
person you
my
should
tits,
be like
my
so
ass.
free with.
Exactly.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it all feels really good. So
Yeah, and toys. Like, you know, sometimes, like, I don't know if you guys, you know, pro tip, but when you take and you get that, you get used to, you know, having that, and then suddenly you have a toy in the front, and then you're, you know,
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
from behind, and you got it in the ass. It's like suddenly, and then you feel the vibration of the toy in the pussy, and then your ass is
You
like,
can I make
are
another suggestion too?
You are making me
Literally,
speak in my language,
this
Ron.
this is how I had anal for the first time, and
And
it didn't hurt,
enjoyed
and
it.
I enjoyed it, and it was
Yeah.
fine the next day. I wasn't feeling some type of way, like, oh yeah, I can tell I did it.
Yeah.
It was like completely fine, like.
So since we're
that.
talking about this, let's do the whole disclaimer. Don't just shove it right in there. You start with a
Yes.
finger. You get it nice and lubed up. Use enough coconut oil.
Yeah.
Give it some time.
Coconut oil.
Let it open.
Yeah.
You know, like make sure that they're ready. It's just like the pussy. You can't just go shoving in the 19.
I
It's
was
so
gonna-
much different than a pussy. I feel like
No, it definitely is.
you need even more lubrication,
Yeah.
more readiness.
Yeah, you definitely do. Yes. I was going to say for anyone out there who is curious about double penetration, with a toy, you can test it out like without having another like guy in the room, without having two dicks. You can try that out because it feels really good, and you can try it with the toy and your
Yeah.
partner, and it it stimulates the same sensation.
Is it the same?
Not exactly, but it's kind of like it.
Get there.
I mean,
Close
if
enough.
anything, it's a good like test.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what I mean,
I-
like,
yeah.
how am I going to feel about this?
Yeah. I'm
No, I
just
think so.
checking since you know since
No,
you're
it's
an
not the
expert.
same.
Since you're an expert.
No, it's definitely not the same.
Okay. But it's like when you can't have both, you
When you can't have it in real life, this
Yeah.
is a very easy way to.
to stimulate it.
Yeah.
Maybe bring back some
Exactly.
memories.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Oh, I remember those.
I miss those
Okay.
days.
So we got to get to my favorite
Oh
one.
Yes.
gosh,
Okay.
I was looking at this one. I'm super excited. To
Yes, yes.
I love this one.
While you're opening it, also we haven't mentioned yet, they are all rechargeable batteries, right? So they like plug in through these silicone.
Know. Oh, let me see that.
It's all
More
USB.
instructions,
Let me see the
so
instructions
you
on
don't
this
get confused
And
about
it's-
how to use it.
and they're all
Oh
USB
shit! Is there a
chargeable.
remote control?
There's a
Yes.
remote
Oh
control.
Yes,
my god!
ma'am.
For a remote to
Oh.
work, we have to pop it open and take out the little paper under the battery. But you don't have to use the remote control
This is
if you don't
amazing.
want
And this
to.
also lights up.
And it looks like Batman,
does light
which
up.
Ron is.
my
Ron is
God.
super nerdy.
See
He's
those little
gonna.
ears?
Oh my god! This is amazing.
Except when
It's
I'm
a
deep
Batman
inside
cock
you.
ring.
When I'm deep inside you, be like, do you like that? Are you gonna come?
Yes.
So how do I
Oh
do
my
Oh, man.
goodness.
And it lights up different colors.
so
There's early
cute.
LEDs that are
That
lit
is
through
fucking
it.
amazing. Look how sexy that is.
That is very sexy. Ooh, and it's very powerful.
Yeah.
It's nice because it's like kind of flatter. It stays in place. Like I
Once
like it
you-
because I think it's fun to like tickle and play. Like put it on your nips, put it on your clit
Yes.
before you're even like having sex.
It's somewhere between a finger
Do it.
vibe.
Yeah, put it on your nips.
Yeah,
I am.
it's somewhere between a finger vibe and a cock ring.
Well,
yeah,
you
you can
could.
use it for
yeah.
Because
whatever.
if you could put your 2 fingers in there
Yeah.
if you're by yourself, and
Absolutely. And even cooler is we've used other cock rings that have had like a roundness to them. It's like you're just basically like holding like a dildo. Like
Yeah,
right
but
there.
it can like move
And it
from sides to
slides.
and you're trying to like constantly put it back and like reposition it and whatever.
But there
fucking
we,
fun.
yeah. And what else is cool about the remote
open
too
this
that we
yet?
really really love is it allows the woman
Oh.
to have a little bit of control over the vibrations
Mm.
that she's feeling. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, I'm like sitting here just thinking like how this can like this needs to be used.
Do this with my fingers. Can you
Yeah, absolutely.
take that paper out?
This needs to be used like ASAP.
I'm gonna grab your keys, babe.
Okay.
Oh, you're using them on your nipples right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only thing that's like, I can. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the design of it. The look is so
You
cool.
can even put this on your cock and then put it on my nipples. And just be like,
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I'm like putting my dick on your chest.
Yeah.
Oh
you just
wow.
like,
Yeah.
just have it everywhere.
You guys are turning me on.
I know. I'm like, oh my god.
Like, where can you put your dick
These-
and this?
These are the best instructions of all the ones I've seen
Right,
so far.
right.
These are very like if I bought a new
So, like-
Razer mouse.
We can control it with the remote control.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there
so
we go.
here it is.
Now
So so I was just putting it secretly on my crotch. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So you're sitting there and you're just and I'm just pumping away.
Yeah,
and you're
it's
like,
super
don't-
small. You can just like have it in your hand.
Do you ever like
So-
watch TV and you're just like he puts it on and then you just fuck with him? Like
Not yet, but yeah.
That's not
Yeah, but how about you can even take and switch it around? Like I can have you put this in your
I don't know,
underwear.
does it feel good vibrating on you? Like it does on us?
Yeah.
I don't have a dick.
It
I
does.
wish I
It
did
does.
some
Yeah,
It
days.
does.
put it
But
in
if
the
you-
space between.
But if you were to
know,
put this, if you were to put
behind
this
your
in your
balls.
in your underwear,
Yeah.
and you just leave it in there, and then like I can just
Well,
walk
yeah.
over and just like click the little
That's
button.
a good idea too.
Go out, maybe go out and have a cocktail.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
I'm so vocal
I mean,
though, I'd
it's
get
not-
myself in trouble.
Yeah, like it's not made for that, but I feel like there's like more than one way you
Yeah.
can use it. It's
This-
not just
this
a cock ring,
feels
you know.
really good. And
That is super cool.
I mean,
So,
we're
I don't know if
probably-
everyone can hear it in the background, but I just
Yeah.
oh man.
yeah.
no, listen. Listen.
Look and listen.
Look on YouTube. Listen on podcast.
Listen to us.
We're probably in the realm of 20 by this point in our marriage. How many sex toys we've purchased?
Oh, a bunch. I don't know.
Yeah, and none of them have been as similar as this line when it comes to strength of vibration, especially not out of the box.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Because
Thank
out of
you.
the box,
Yeah.
it's like it's you
That's a
get
good
like
point.
5 minutes.
Yep.
But this right here, the feel.
So
of
you like
them-
you're excited to get it. It gets delivered to your home. You can unwrap it and then immediately use
You
it.
could use
I
it right
suppo-
away.
I
Yeah,
suppose.
right away.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I know you really well, and this right here will make you come very.
This is gonna be on your dick tonight.
Yeah,
I understand.
That's what we're
That's a
hoping
win
for.
in our book.
Yeah.
Okay? We love it.
Tomorrow I'm gonna be at work going, hey, everybody.
Either that or we'll be talking like Batman.
You have no idea. This is. I love
Batman
the.
cock
I love
ring.
it.
So what made you think of the remote?
So
I mean-
we wanted something like I said. It's almost like a consent kind of thing. Like,
Oh, I
hey,
see.
I'm gonna be in
Yeah.
control, or I could be in control. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
But,
it's like another little like novelty to
Something
it.
to
You know,
kind
it's
of mix
fun.
it up. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
You don't
It's
have to use the remote. I mean, you can adjust it
Different
on the
strokes
cock ring
for
also. But
different strokes for different folks. You know what I mean?
And I was showing everybody while you were talking about it. I was like pulling on it really pretty hard.
yeah,
And one of the things about cock
so
rings
pretty.
that people who might be novices don't know is that I was talking to someone. I can't remember who I was talking about, but they said, "Oh, it was too tight around my dick."
They
I was
can
like,
be restricting, right?
I was like, well, when I use them and it's tight around my dick, it's like you're going for a while. It adds to
Yeah,
the
it
to the
makes-
stamina.
right.
So when you have something like that wrapped around your dick at the base, don't put it up at the head. You
Yeah.
want to have it as far down as you can.
Of course.
That's a good thing.
right.
You're not
Right.
cut. Your dick's not gonna fall off. You're not gonna fuck for that
You're
long.
gonna be okay.
You're
Right.
definitely gonna come before your dick falls off.
Is
but
that
it's a
really
good.
a concern?
I don't know.
Oh.
It reminds me. Remember True Blood? That was always my fear that my dick was just gonna swell up with blood, and then like
what?
in
What?
True Blood when he took V, the brother, when he took V for the first time, and his dick was like a giant engorged
Yeah, but he
thing,
fucked for like forever.
like for 10 hours. Yeah, so I
it
would
was a
definitely.
show on HBO. It's about vampires.
know.
Brian's mom used to be
Yeah, my
obsessed
mom
with it,
used
but
to
I
love it.
never.
Oh,
She's
great.
like, even-
Yeah.
So now we
Thanks,
feel
Brian.
It's like,
super
you know
old,
what?
Brian.
I'm
How
like
come-
as old as
how
your
come-
mom.
Yeah,
No,
Good
but I was
job,
just saying, I
Brian.
think Brian's
But it
mom's
was
a
more
secret
like,
freak.
Mom,
That's
like
what I
you're
was
into
saying.
this freaky shit.
Oh, I
that,
love
like,
it.
There was a lot of sex in
There
that
was a
show.
lot of
Yeah,
sex.
Freaky
that's
shit.
insane.
I
Yes.
do remember one time I was at her house and they're watching True Blood.
At your
They're like, come
mom's
on,
house?
come sit down and like watch True Blood with us. And
Watch True Blood with your mom and dad.
well, she offered, right? Okay, so
Jesus
literally
Christ.
like 2 seconds, and I don't know, it was this giant moonlight
Yeah.
scene where there's
Orgy.
like fat orgy
Yes,
going on, right?
orgy.
And I'm like,
I've seen that.
what the hell are you guys watching? This is. I mean,
How
this
old
is
were
cool.
you at that time?
Oh man.
He's like
Well,
17.
No, Brian's 35.
Oh,
so
okay.
he's
Yeah,
So-
I'm an old.
Maybe
So
you
in
were
his
like
20s.
18.
I was like
No,
18,
20
19.
probably.
Maybe older than that, but anyway.
Anyways.
The point being was there was that awkward.
You were
moment.
like, you
And
watched
I'm like,
this?
dude, what the hell? Like, we didn't even barely have a Birds and the Bees song. Like, and now you're watching orgy scenes?
We took our oldest son to go see 300 when he was probably like 12 or 13, whenever that was
Oh
out.
yeah, I remember
And
seeing
then-
that when I was in high school.
Yeah, and then so after the sex scene in that, because I didn't know there was gonna be a sex scene, but after that sex scene, he was like, "I have to go to the bathroom." I was like, "You do you, dude.
Oh,
you
bro.
do you."
All right.
That was
Monica's gonna love that. Monica's
hilarious.
gonna love that.
yeah.
That's
I was
so
like, "You
awesome.
do you, man."
Oh my god.
That's
We
so
like our
awesome.
birds and bees. Well, I kind of alluded to my birds and bees. My dad was always like, "Guys just want your pussy. Guys just want your pussy."
Right.
Okay, I don't know what that means, but that's what he said.
Yeah.
And then my mom would always be like, "They're just gonna use you." Blah blah blah. So it was always this like negative about guys. Like, why would I want to go fuck someone if
Sounds like a nightmare.
Yes, it sounds like a fucking nightmare, you know? So instead of like empowering me, it was more like try to like put the fear in me so that I
feel
wouldn't
like
go
I got
near men.
those like messages too, like
Yeah.
it's gonna be bad.
Yes.
It's not for you. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, even though I was like, no, I
I'll
definitely
try
want.
anyway.
I'm gonna go do this now. I know you've said bad things, but I'm still gonna go.
I'm still gonna try.
I'm
but
still
I
gonna
heard
try.
I heard you.
yeah.
I know we talked about this before, but it reminds me of the To-Do List with
Yeah.
Audrey Plaza. Did you ever see that
no,
movie?
but
That's a
I
good
know what
one.
you're talking about. I want to
you
see
need,
that.
You need to watch that
Yeah.
because in that the talk that her mom has with her is lube,
Yeah.
and she gives her lube, and
That's
she's
a great
like,
talk,
and
though.
It is a
it
good
was.
talk.
That's what you
So
should
the first
say.
time-
So important.
So the
Yes.
first, so her mom's like, your first time is going to be terrible,
Right.
but this will make it better. So she uses lube, and the guy sucks at sex, but she's like, okay, I
Wasn't
did
too
it.
bad,
It
right?
could have been worse.
But it could have been worse,
Yeah.
and when we watched that, because I watched it first, and I was like, Janelle, you gotta watch this movie, and I like a lot of that stuff. Where
Yeah.
I don't know if most dudes out there would be like, I love the to-do list. Like that's not a guy
Probably
thing.
not, but it's
But I
okay.
loved
Brian
it.
would probably like it.
You would
It's
really,
a
I
really good
would.
movie.
I'm sure I would.
So I showed
really
it to
good.
Janelle, and she loved it, and that is kind of like the thing you wish people would have, you know, because
Yeah.
none of us had the talk.
Yeah.
You know, like my talk with my son, with my oldest, was like the worst. I told him it was like Lego pieces, and one piece fits into another.
That is literally the talk I got.
Really?
no,
no.
way.
I swear to God.
Oh my
not,
god.
not about Lego, but puzzle pieces.
Oh,
So
Similar.
No, I swear to God. And my mom was cool. Like she would have let me ask her any question. You know, like you can always come to me and talk to me. But it was awkward. You know.
Yeah.
But the first time I got the talk, I must have been in like 4th grade, and she sat me down and she's like, "Okay, well, like." Men and women are like puzzle pieces. Like women go in and men go out.
Oh my god.
And like let my little 4th grade brain put the pieces together, and I was like, "What?" But that's the talk I got.
Yeah, and then with our youngest son, he did something with this group here in Napa called Voices, and they went to the city, and he comes back, and he's got all these condoms and all this stuff, and we're like, what is all this? He goes, oh, well, we were talking about, like, condom usage and penises and dicks and pussies and all
yeah,
that.
I put
And
a
we were
condom on a banana, and I
and
was like, what?
And we were like, wait a
Okay.
minute, did we skip the talk? And he's
Yeah.
like, oh, well, let me tell you
Yeah.
what the talk is.
Yes.
He was like, let me
so
educate
true.
you. And we were like,
Thank
okay,
you.
well,
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even need the talk, actually. And this really could have something to do with many of my problems growing up. But I like found a porno because my aunt was like my older sister. She was 15 years older than me. So when I was like 10 or something, I found a videotape,
VHS.
a VHS tape in her
VHS.
drawer, and I don't know how I knew that it was porn, but I knew it was porn. I was like, hey guys, my friend, I grew up in Brooklyn. We had an apartment building. I lived on the second floor. My apartment was 2B. 2D was Danette, and I don't know if she listens to this, but she's friends with me on Facebook, so she might. But I brought the tape over to her house. Her parents were at work. I'm like, let's go watch. And I was like 10 years old, and there was like guy on guy, girl on girl, two guys and the girl. There was anal. I was like,
there's everything on
Oh
this
my
tape.
Whose porn was this?
it was like my aunt's porn, and I watched that when I was
amazing tape.
I was 10.
And they all had like super bushes.
Well,
yeah.
yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never saw porn until I was a lot older, I feel like.
Oh yeah, I saw
That's
porn
amazing.
at 10. I was like, oh okay, they were having a good
Yeah,
time. I want to do that.
My dad, who's definitely listening. Hi, Dad.
Hi.
Definitely found plenty
Hi,
of his
Mike.
porn.
Hi,
you
Dad.
know. Hi, Dad.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
gonna be on.
Playboys played a huge part in me discovering
Yeah.
like what a vagina was. But there weren't dicks in
No.
that. So I was like, oh, I ain't got one of those, but I'm interested.
Yeah.
It's so different now, though. Like, kids have phones. The second you give your kid a phone, you know they're
have
going to
it.
be
full
So
access.
accessible.
looking
It's so
at
accessible.
everything and anything. Like, a friend of ours.
So, but that isn't
Okay.
necessarily a bad thing to me. Like, I mean, I understand it a little
Well,
bit more now because
don't
we're
know
trying
if
to
it
raise
is
our
or not.
kids based on like how our parents raised us.
No, I'm not
But-
trying to raise them based on that. Definitely not.
Someone needs to have a sidebar
But at
conversation.
the same
not how your
time-
parents raised you
no,
either,
No,
but,
and I
like-
agree. But I mean, that's just the mentality.
It,
so,
it
like,
is.
So like maybe
But you're like, oh, this age of child shouldn't see this. You know,
Yeah.
like that's how you feel.
and that's how the really weird taboos of the sex world are formulated.
Yeah.
I think that just if I could give some advice, not that you're asking me for it,
No,
but
we-
you could still have your like traditions, but then incorporate the new mentality as
Yeah.
well.
And
Like, you know,
education, yeah.
yes, like you keep some of it sacred where you're like, this is definitely like something I want to instill in them, but then I also want them to like know this too. You
Yeah,
know?
like your body's not
Yeah.
shameful.
Yes.
Like you shouldn't be weirded out if you want to
Yeah.
touch your own body.
Right.
Like you're in control of
Right.
it. And like it's not weird.
Yeah, like we never talked about masturbation. Like, and I don't even like who the fuck talks about masturbation?
Nobody.
But
But
everyone
so
should.
I'm not shaming my mother for like
Right.
not talking to me
No,
about that
'cause
because
it-
she probably
Right.
never was talked to about
Yeah.
that. So
No.
like I totally get that.
And-
but
and
then
even-
I still wound up like masturbating when I was a child. Like I was always curious,
Yeah.
you know.
And even now, like I look back at like people probably think that we were different parents, but no, we were just like every other parent.
Yeah.
And what we've learned now in 2019 is completely different than who we were in 2008.
And in fact, it's weird because like you used to hide like boobs from our kids.
Oh yeah, I used to hide like anything. Like,
You
if
were
a-
like that.
Yeah, if a scene came on where people were kissing and I thought something
And
was
I'm
going to
like,
happen,
run! It's not a
I
big
would-
deal. It's just
I would
people
like
kissing.
pause it. But I had this like olden time.
And I
mentality.
didn't.
No,
I
you
didn't because
You-
my parents did that to me, and
you're
I
a
was always
better-
like,
we all know you're the better
I kinda
of
see
the
what's
two.
going on, and I want to see what's going on, and that's
Yeah.
not gonna
No,
like.
you're-
It's
you're
not
right.
gonna. Yeah.
I messed up.
And he was like, finally, when
Was so
Anthony was
wrong.
like 15, he's like, all right, you could see tits on TV now. I'm like, what's
I
the
actually sent him through a
difference?
gauntlet of movies that he had to watch.
Right. Here's what you need
yeah,
to know.
it's like
Titties you wanna see.
we watched a bunch of movies.
Yeah.
you know.
You know what though? But I feel like if you expose your kids to that, like we're like this, is like we're creatures, right? So we have boobs, we have pussies, we have
And it's just a
dicks.
body
It's just our
part.
body part.
It's part of your body.
So I feel like if more kids were exposed to that, like as they were growing up, they would be less inclined to like grab a girl's ass
Yeah, or,
without
like-
consent.
like, oh, I want to see it. Or
Yeah.
like you become a macho man and be like, oh, yeah, like you're just
Yes.
an object, not
Yes,
a human.
Exactly.
you know?
Yes, I think that like all ties in to this whole new idea. Like it's just an ass or it's just a boob and it's beautiful, but it's not like something like
You can
know,
appreciate
like, oh, I'm
it.
gonna grab it. I'm just gonna kind of pinch your
No.
nipple without
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
saying it's okay because it's always been off limits. So I'm gonna go
guys,
do it.
Yeah.
Guys are terrible and need to
Sorry.
be retrained.
Yeah, you guys are horrible.
We are.
Horrible.
We
Yeah.
are. We're
Yeah, but you know what?
Not you guys.
We're trying to
you
start a new
specifically.
trend.
right.
The
No,
new
for
new
sure.
man. We're the new man.
We are
brand.
new men. We're the
I
leaders of the
agree.
new
We're the
men.
leaders of the
I'm
new
saying
man.
teach your children. Teach your fucking
Yeah,
children.
and have an ongoing conversation. Like I want my son to like know about, you know, sexual assault and, you know, like read these words written by a woman that went through this and this is why it's not okay. We're all just people and your mom will kick your ass
Yeah.
if you ever do this,
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very interesting topic, and it all surrounds around the sex word.
Yeah.
And I think that having the conversations, and it takes the adults or soon to be adults or the parents to become more comfortable themselves
Yeah.
in order to be able to facilitate that level of education to their children. So yeah, I think that the parents need to become more okay
Less
with
afraid.
it.
Less afraid to be open with
Yeah,
your kids.
just-
Even
if
if
you-
your kid
yeah.
feels like a little awkward or whatever, as long as you're not showing any awkwardness,
Yeah.
it's like this is normal. This is what everyone does. You
Yeah.
go in your room and do your thing.
Yeah.
There's
and
a
it-
lot
Fine.
of topics to cover when you're talking about sex.
It's
There
so,
is.
Yeah.
you know
It's
what?
so
You got to
much.
start somewhere. You got to start early,
Yeah.
and you can't be afraid of it.
It has to
Yeah.
continue the whole
Yeah.
time.
And you won't even know if you did a good job till they're in their 20s. So
Yeah.
you just got to like try it out.
Could you
Yeah.
even imagine, bringing it back to the toys, could you even imagine if a mother or a father, I don't know.
It's a little creepier with the father.
It
though,
is.
Right?
I was gonna say
Yeah.
that, but I
The
don't
son,
want to.
maybe.
I didn't want
Yeah.
to say
That's
that.
No, but
Yeah.
like no, but you have to be. You have
I
to
don't
speak
want to
your
say
truth,
that out loud.
Janelle.
I'm gonna
Speak your
speak.
truth.
I'm gonna speak my truth. It might be a little creepy if you're like a single dad, and that's just. I mean, it might be a little bit more awkward. Not
But
creepy. A little bit
depending
more
on the
awkward.
relationship you have.
Depending on the relationship,
Right.
but let's just say you're a parent and you introduce something that could bring your child pleasure when they hit that age where they start being curious about that. I'm not talking about a fucking 9-year-old, 10-year-old, 11-year-old, unless that's when they start getting curious, which could happen because everyone matures at different
Yeah.
ages. But imagine introducing a toy where your child could feel like sexually empowered
Right.
to make themselves feel good and not have to rely on someone else making them feel good.
I think
Yeah,
that's a
we just
solid
talked about that
idea.
earlier.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that, like, honestly, like, I walk in on my son jerking off for the
Who cares?
first time, and it's
Yeah.
like, hey, man, like,
It's
It's
cool.
okay.
Sorry.
it's fine.
It's fine.
My
I'll
bad.
knock next
I
time.
entered
Close the
your
door.
space on accident.
Yes.
And I definitely didn't want to see that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
maybe there's something that I can use that moment to
Right.
teach.
You
know
can.
what I mean?
Like
And
even
say,
something
hey,
as simple as saying the words coconut oil
right.
could like
Hey, bro.
could like change their lives. Because for me, like, I mean, this goes to the whole guys taking 3 showers in the daytime when they're younger. Like, like I was constantly taking a shower so that I would have an opportunity to jerk
Right.
off, and I was the only person. I was the only person I had ever known who touched themselves.
Yeah, you don't know that
Your
it's like
friends?
everyone
No
does
way.
that, you know, because no one talks about it.
No.
So you're
Friends
like, it
did-
must just be me.
No, I know this now, but I'm saying at a
you
young
thought
age.
in your mind that
in
you were
my
the only person.
because who am I gonna say?
Right.
I'm not gonna go up to some dude like my sex talk. My friend of mine, which apparently like I'm not gonna get into it, but
Why? Speak
bro,
your truth.
yeah.
Speak your
no,
truth.
it's really
the
dark.
truth.
Speak
But
your
just
truth.
randomly
it's
walk up
dark.
to your buddy and be like, "Hey, bro,
No,
Do you
have
touch
you ever
your
used
penis
coconut
too?
oil?"
No, hold on. It's a dark story. I'm not gonna say it, but
Okay.
But this friend of mine, he was a little older than me, and we hung out all the time. In fact, his grandmother used to babysit me.
Yes.
So I remember one time we were like walking down the stairs because we lived on the 17th floor of our apartment complex. So we're walking down. He lived on the 9th floor.
Yeah.
And so we're going down there, and he goes, "Hey, we got to stop for a minute." And I'm like, "All right." He goes, "Your mom wanted me to talk to you about sex
What?
In the stairwell?
at the stairwell." And
That's
I,
weird.
and
That's a
then-
weird moment.
Yeah, so I was like, okay. So I guess my mom like told him because like I didn't have like a dad or anything, so he was the older dude that I looked up to. So,
Okay.
so he's like, do you have any questions on it? And this is a guy who like I could talk to about anything, and I was like, no, I know everything, but I didn't.
Yeah, because you feel awkward and embarrassed. Like I should know
I just
everything.
didn't.
and
I just didn't want to talk to my
Yeah.
friend
Yeah.
about
That's an
like,
awkward moment.
stuff.
That is
Yeah.
awkward.
You know, and then
Well, apparently he hadn't built up the relationship
No,
enough for you to feel
he
comfortable.
He did. We were.
So why didn't you feel comfortable talking
Because
to him?
I just felt like because he was a person I looked up to, and I thought if I didn't know everything,
You
be,
wouldn't
like,
look
less
cool.
cool.
I would look less
Yeah.
cool.
See,
Yeah.
I see.
And then you
Okay.
fast forward to me having my own children, and I'm like, hey, I want to talk to you about sex. And my kids are like,
No,
It's
we're
okay.
good. Yeah, we're good.
I'm completely okay.
We are so much cooler than you.
Honestly, Dad, I could teach you a thing or two.
Yeah.
So
That's literally
I'm
how it
good.
happened.
Yeah.
So, and with our oldest son, it wasn't necessarily like that. He was like, I don't want to hear it. So I'm like, I'm going to tell you anyways. And I did that thing. And then I was like, okay, I'm done. If you ever want to ask me stuff. And what was amazing, and we haven't talked about this yet, I think, but I have told you, but when he first had sex, actually, you should tell this story, and then I'll tell this story of what he said to me. But how did we find out that he had sex for the first time?
Oh,
Because we haven't talked about this on the show yet.
I think we have.
No,
Oh,
I
I
don't
can't
think
wait
so.
to hear
You're
it. Go
serious.
for
So
it.
it's just like it's funny because we knew he had a girlfriend who listens to the show, and she's gonna be listening right now. But anyway, yeah, hello Monica. But
Hi, Monica.
but we knew he
All
had a
together
girlfriend.
now. Hi,
We knew-
Monica.
Hi, Monica.
So we knew he had a girlfriend. We knew like it was like it was serious and like he I'm not gonna speak on. Anyway, he had a girlfriend, so we were like, "When's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen?" We kind of knew that he was a virgin, and I was like, "All right, like I want to know when it happens."
It's very important.
It's
Right.
very important.
Right.
Yeah, so like I don't know, like randomly we were just having breakfast one morning.
Yeah.
My sister was visiting, and we were here at this table.
At this table, we're eating
So
eggs
I'm like
and
eating my scrambled eggs. I'm like, so have you lost your virginity yet? And he's like, actually, I have. And I'm like, oh. And my sister was like, this is what you fucking talk about at the while you're eating
Yes.
breakfast.
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, we didn't make
and
it.
then
We were just like, okay, cool.
Oh my
no,
God.
second question was like, did you use a condom? And
Yeah.
or is she on birth control? And like, what are you doing to prevent like pregnancy because you're still in school and she's still in school?
And I'm just
Yeah.
eating my hash browns and my eggs.
But that's the type of conversations that go on. Just the other day, I'm
Good.
like,
that's good though. That's
did you
healthy.
masturbate often as a child? He's like, Mom, really?
So with him, he like after that conversation took place, I don't know what happened, but it was just him and I was in the kitchen and he walks up to me and he goes, I'm only gonna say this one time and I never want to talk about this again. I was like, okay. And he goes, you're right. It's awesome. And I was like, and I felt like I did the best that I could have done
That's amazing.
as a father.
That's
Dude,
good.
you
I was-
killed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like,
Killed it.
I did it.
Yeah.
I was like, I was really good. And then we didn't talk about it after that because I respected the
No,
fact
he's
that-
very
That-
private. He's very
And
private.
that's fair. Like it's kind of
Yeah.
like it can be awkward. With
he's
your
so
parents,
private.
you know?
We can talk about it on the show.
Sorry.
Whoops.
Sorry,
Sorry,
not sorry.
not sorry.
Sorry.
He
Collective
doesn't
sorry.
listen. He's not even listening right now.
No,
he
he's
doesn't
not.
listen to us unless he listens in private and doesn't
Yeah.
tell us. But I doubt it.
But if you guys get like huge enough where the whole world is listening or super famous, he's
Yeah.
gonna be like,
He's gonna
okay,
love
great.
it.
He's like,
I
you guys,
already-
God
Wonderful.
damn it. Now I
Yeah.
gotta listen.
I already told him. I was like, if we
Everyone
start-
I know listens to my parents
Yeah, I
talk
was-
about me.
I was like, if we like start like if this starts some shit, like you're gonna need to be like involved in the business. He's like, oh yeah, like it's totally fine. He knows. He's fine with it.
And you have a little one, and you're kind of thinking
Yeah.
about that stuff right now, and you're starting this business, so you're
Yes.
gonna have boxes upon boxes.
Yes.
You probably already
We do, yeah.
We do. We
Yeah,
have a
Dagan's
room
got a
full.
name for
It's
that.
like the entire Reese and Rose supply is like.
Yeah.
Has he asked
he's,
yet?
He's like, oh, what are these buzzy things? And I'm like,
Things. Yeah.
they're massagers for mom and dad. Don't worry
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it. They're our product.
We're gonna have to get like a gun safe to like protect
Yes.
all of our toys.
It's like a whole safe room.
Yeah, exactly
Yeah.
right.
But I mean, by the time he's old enough to like get it, we're like, yeah, this is how your mom and dad make money to buy you
Yeah.
things. So get over it.
Well,
Right.
how would you?
Like-
Yeah, because he's too young to understand.
He doesn't
like,
know
he
what
doesn't
it's
know what it's
for.
for.
Yeah,
So
no.
that would be weird to try to explain that to
No,
him right now.
no.
There was a video a couple years ago on the internet that went viral about these two kids in the bedroom playing with the mom's dildos, and they were using them as lightsabers.
yeah.
Okay, so funny story. So our son definitely did find our wand.
Oh, because we've had like 6 of them because we've been like testing,
Testing,
different
ripping 'em
manufacturers,
apart,
like
throwing 'em
Yeah.
away.
yeah, whatever.
So
So
he-
we've had a couple out.
Yeah.
So he finds this one, right? This is giant, bright purple looking thing. Anyway, and he holds it against his like throat right here, and he goes, "Mom, Dad." Like,
He sounds like a robot.
it's like, oh my god, you know, like one of those weird parenting moments
But I'm
where
like,
you're like
whatever. Like,
crying, laughing,
well.
but like, all right.
Well,
do
what's
it.
what's interesting about that story is that that was one of the first things I did with your wand. Is I was all
I saw the massager.
The massager,
I
yeah.
saw it and I was like, flashback. This is my child. Like, yeah,
That's me. I'm a child.
Ron's my child.
Yes, that's where my mind goes.
It's an instinct.
It was an instinct. It was like,
So funny.
Well, just the other day, well, not the other day, like last month, Anthony. So the little toy that I have, the one that I was telling you that just sits on top.
On your clip.
It's like this little thing. It looks like a
I'm just
frog.
gonna preface real quick. He is almost 23.
Yeah, he's
Continue.
Okay.
almost 23.
Okay.
So it's like a little buzzy thing, and then it has like these two little arms. It kind of looks like a little frog.
Oh wait, I've seen this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it sits in like a charging pod.
Yeah.
So it's like it almost looks like it's like a earbuds or something the way you can
Yeah.
charge them.
Yeah.
So it sits in this little case. So Anthony was like looking for something.
No, he was just in the room and he's on the floor because he's
No,
like
he
in our
was looking
space.
for something because some of like private documents, like his birth certificate, I have like in boxes under my bed, like
Yeah.
shoe boxes or whatever. I don't know. And he was looking for something. I can't remember what it was, and he's like, "Oh, these are Dad's earbuds," and he pulls it out, and I was like, "Oh yeah, those are Dad's earbuds," and I like,
Yeah, something like that.
I told Ron later, like, that was really weird.
That's my clip vibe.
Yeah.
That would have been super awkward if I would have told them what it was actually for. Like, no, that's not the right time.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't
not
do
what
this
you're
right
touching.
now. Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I have that then?
So basically, the moral of that story is that 18 years from now, you're
Yeah.
still going to be having these moments
Yeah.
where he's going to. And the thing is like our bed. If you like sticking out on the end of each side are these like restraints
Oh
that
yeah,
we
we
have.
have those.
We just got those.
Yeah.
Oh,
We did.
Have you used them yet?
Yes.
Once.
Okay,
Yeah,
you used
we
them
did
immediately when you got home.
That's what we did.
We've used them one time. Well,
Yeah.
we
So
order
one
them
time-
Amazon.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we ordered
Gotta
them
figure them out because
When
there's
did
an
we get
order
those?
to things.
On Sunday?
What's that?
on Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday we got
Yeah,
those.
Sunday we got 'em.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we put them under our bed, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if these are long enough. Did we not get the right size?
We have a
like
king,
whatever.
so
We
like.
do.
Yeah, we do
too.
too. So it's
like,
it's very difficult.
geez.
No, I was like, no, I think I can do it, and I like
Yeah.
it. I'm like, yeah, no.
And then
fine.
of course you were so far. So you just got them, but you're the
Yes.
only one who's been restrained.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
And same thing here.
Okay.
Yeah, she's the only one that's been restrained.
I say.
Do you wanna
they
be
do some
restrained?
Work, you
Yeah.
know? Why
You know-
not?
Do you want
Yeah.
to get restrained?
Why not? Let's do it.
Do
I
you
don't
want
know.
to get restrained?
I don't know.
My first thought when we got them was like they're for me, and honestly, like I liked it more than I thought I would. I kind of like to like get dominated a
Yeah.
little, but I mean, if you want to get restrained, I'll
Let's
fucking
just
do
give it
it.
a shot,
That's
right?
fine.
I mean,
Maybe later.
Yeah. But it's interesting because we did the same thing. And then what's super funny is that like so I tied Janelle up and so she's in there and she's in the restraints and she wants them to be loose so that because we watched that show, what was that thing on Netflix?
Oh God, with Carla Cugino.
Carla Cugino.
Where the guy she ties them up and then he has he ties her up and then he has a heart attack and they're in a cabin.
Oh no.
In the middle of
Oh,
nowhere.
you gotta watch this movie. It's fucking
Yeah, it's
great.
based
No,
on a
mine
Stephen
were
King
tight. I
novel.
couldn't have
But
gone
doesn't
out by
that change-
myself.
Yeah, but doesn't that change like?
She watched her husband die and then she couldn't get out of the fucking restraints. No. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. I'm not dying in this fucking bedroom. But
but-
even though like our kids would,
Yeah,
like
so-
they went on vacation. They were in a
Even though,
cabin.
thank God, my
My
kids
Yeah.
can find a
God.
spread eagle
But
and
hold
make it
on.
on a bed.
Horrifying is
But hold
that?
I've never thought of that
So-
before. I'm
Yes.
sorry, Brian. Your fun's over. Fuck.
Thanks, Janelle.
No, but
Never do that again.
He showed me the movie. I don't even like movies like that. He's like, you have to watch this movie. I'm
Oh
like,
my
okay,
God.
fine.
wait, so
I wish we
No.
never came here.
We're never using that
So-
shit again.
so I tie her up, right? So this is the first time we use it. We get home, we set the bed up. She's restrained. It's a little loose because of the fucking movie, but she's restrained.
I'm like, I just have to. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll pretend,
Okay.
babe. I'll
Okay.
pretend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I'll
Okay.
commit.
All right, I'm good.
Immediately, once she's fully naked, laying in the bed, all 4 spread.
Oh,
Yes.
the kids come home.
Then our son's girlfriend had to come pick something up. So she comes walking in. And then, so I have my clothes on. So I wanted to see who it is. I'm like, hey, what's up? And then Janelle's like, get me out of here. I'm like, no. And then I go over
Yes.
and I'm like
like,
talking. And then I come back into the room and Janelle's just with her legs restrained and she's on her phone.
Oh, because I realized you could like.
Because you
You
can get
could
out.
go like this
Yeah.
and like this around the mattress. I was like, okay, I couldn't like get undone per se, but I could just go.
Dude, so we've only used it one time.
Oh man, apparently we
and-
have a lot to
And
discover.
yeah, totally. It was
that's
fun.
awesome.
It was great. I recommend it. But
was very
as
fun.
soon as we were done, I'm like blindfolded also.
Oh, I haven't done that yet.
And yeah, I didn't
That's
know
the
that was
ultimate level
happening.
of
I didn't know that came with the
submission.
kit, but it did.
Yeah.
Right, because they have kits online.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm blindfolded also. Like Brian comes, like we're finished, and I'm like, I start laughing, and I'm like, you have to undo me. Like it is not cohesive to like not having a wet spot on the bed.
No,
I was like, you have to let me go.
No, that's so true.
I'm leaking. I'm leaking. I'm leaking.
Because usually I'm trying to like jump out like right away.
I do the same thing. I'm like, oh, scoot,
Yeah.
scoot, scoot, scoot.
Yeah.
You gotta go to the side. You can't sit flat.
But we tied
Totally.
you up both ways. Like we did one where you were face up, and then we did one where you were face down, all in the same day, and we haven't used it since.
I don't know. I don't know why not.
Yeah, but we
But
did
they're
both
under
sides.
there
Yeah, they're
whenever.
under there.
That's the kind of the nice
So
part.
I'm
It's
always-
there when you're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Anthony was like sitting on the side of the bed and it's like dangling off the side. And I was like, yeah, what's going on at school?
like we said, like her mom comes and watches our son for us
Yes.
sometimes, and sometimes
I don't think she's digging around under our bed.
no. But I mean, you kind of worry about like
Oh.
the strap
Yes.
hanging out or something.
But I do worry when she stays for days on end. I'm like, we have to pack up every sex toy and take it with us whenever we
Oh
go
my
somewhere
God.
because she could look in our drawer.
No,
like we don't
that's
have a
true.
good like spot.
But I already know what I'm just. Hey, no, that's the clip that holds the sheets in place on the mattress.
Yeah.
To me,
I'm like,
there's
it'll be
no
fine.
hiding what we have in our drawers. So.
Yeah.
We have a collar in there. We have a.
Oh,
we have
we
a,
just added a collar.
flogger. We
Yeah.
have like a bunch of shit. Like there, if someone finds it, it's like you shouldn't have been looking at it.
Don't look.
Hey,
Yeah, like that's my private spot. So you
So
should just
it
not
started
look.
with those straps, and it elevated to a collar, and which we also only used one time.
We did.
You know,
Okay.
so collars are fun, and
was
straps
really
are
Really?
fun.
It
Well,
was really hot.
And then with these toys, you could be like, you could just really just kind of like, you know, and then like I don't know, there's a ball gag too. We haven't gone. That
I will
route.
never do that. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
she likes to be very vocal.
That seems a little scary
It's
to
very
me.
scary. I'd be like, I
Like,
can't breathe. I'm choking. I can't do this. It's,
But I did like being blindfolded. I thought it was fun. I was like, oh, what's he using on me right now?
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
it's the wand.
It keeps it like.
yeah,
Which one is that?
yeah.
It's not out. We should have kept them all out.
Oh, it's not out, but it's
Yeah,
right here.
it's the wand.
The wand.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'm glad
yeah,
you
no,
guys.
it was super fun. Like I
Yeah.
think like throughout all of this, we're kind of like figuring out more
Right.
like what we like and like what
Exactly.
we're into,
Yep.
and I kind of am realizing my style is like kink light,
Me too.
diet kink.
Oh my god, that's the best thing.
That's actually really. That's
You know,
very.
like-
It's very accurate.
Yeah,
Like oh yeah, like I want you
kink
to.
zero.
I want you to
I'll take some kink zero.
like I want you to spank me, but like don't like I don't want welts or to
Yeah,
bleed or
yeah.
anything. Or like yeah, like choke me, but don't like
I felt
choke
the
me,
same
choke
thing.
me.
I
Yeah.
felt the same
You
thing.
know?
And one time we were playing around and I was spanking her and she kept saying harder and more and I was like, I stopped.
I don't
like
wanna, like,
I
hurt
said
you.
the
Like, I
safe
don't-
word
yeah.
because I saw these like welts on there and I was like,
No, there was
Well-
also one time where I was like, "Ow!"
oh
like,
yeah, and I
don't
felt
do that
I felt
more.
so horrible.
Well, when you
Yeah.
have white skin, like I could be like
Yes.
and like have a
Yes, me too. Yeah,
scratch. Like
I'm very very
But that's the
sensitive
communication part.
Yes.
Definitely.
Communication
like,
is
one
super
day you'll go
important.
wild, one day you'll go wild, and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, we gotta
yeah,
know
and
then,
where
like,
we're
the
at.
more
Wow.
turned on you are, the less you feel pain.
Yes.
Wait, can
You
I
know?
say what's going wild on a guy? What is her going wild on you?
Nothing.
I
could
don't
do
know.
it.
He won't let
Be
me get- I can't
open,
do-
man.
I've
I know
scratched
it
the
sounds
shit out of
weird.
your back before on
Yeah,
accident.
definitely woken up
Oh.
with like
But,
scratches.
like
My
maybe
chest-
that's the most I
Yeah.
go
My
wild
chest
on you.
one
Honestly,
time was actually dripping with blood.
That's you're so
You were just like
dramatic. That's
I
not
think I probably
true
have a
at all.
can't
scratch right
handle
now.
blood. They
like,
can't handle
we
any,
can't handle
yeah.
anything. No,
No.
He
men,
wasn't dripping blood.
Ben,
He had
I
like a
wasn't-
scratch on his fucking chest.
He's never complained because
No,
I
she's a
scratched him. He's just like
sweetheart.
shows it off. And
She's
I'm
a
like,
sweetheart,
okay.
and I'm
It's
the
like,
one that pushes the envelope most of the time.
I'm
right?
so pure and innocent and
But
never do anything sexual. What? Is that what you're
No,
trying
I'm
to say about
talking
me?
like butt plugs or like strap on or whatever.
Oh,
'cause,
this,
like,
this is a good. This
he
is a
won't
good-
let me do any
this
of
This is a
that.
good one. So Brian, so
Yes.
so you're
So
now.
Brian,
You guys should bond over that.
Yeah, so you're now like growing sexually, and,
Right.
and the sexploration is at an all-time high.
right.
Would you let her fuck you in the ass?
Oh man,
I know, right?
We
It's-
talked
it's-
about this.
it's
Hi,
a
Mike.
weird one.
Hi, Mike.
It's
Is
a
that his
weird
name?
one.
Yeah,
I think-
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Dad.
I love this. Mike's probably
look.
been fucked in the ass
Oh,
before.
yes,
and, like,
Mike. I
Hey,
need to
hey, hey.
don't you think?
I need to meet Mike.
Maybe.
Mike sounds like a
Dude,
fun
he's
time.
wild.
He's a
Yeah.
pretty wild, fun
I
guy.
love it.
All
so
of
so
his
great
uncles are.
distractions, Brian.
Okay, anyway.
Okay, so I'll be completely honest with you. If
Okay.
my wife was super into that and really, really wanted to do it, and she got some sort of satisfaction out of it, yes, I would.
Satisfaction.
Well, she'll get satisfaction out of it because
And
No.
no, go ahead.
because you've fucked someone with a strap on.
Of a girl.
Yeah,
not a
but
guy.
but you got satisfaction out of
Oh
it.
yeah.
You want to talk about how that made you
Oh,
feel?
it's like super empowering. That's why I want a dick for a day, but I can't have one.
This is the next best
Like
thing.
just like that baby elephant, like swinging
Yeah.
his trunk
Yeah, this is what
around.
like a girl would be like if she had a dick. No,
I
but
was
like
can I stick
okay,
it in there?
questions.
Please, can I?
question. So like
Yeah.
you had the strap on, you were fucking another girl. Like, did your strap on have like a vibe attached? Did it have something in you at the same time, or were you
No.
just fucking
Nope.
another girl with like
It's
a dildo?
just the power of the, like the.
of what you were doing.
Yes, it's like
and
the-
how it made her feel.
Yeah, exactly. It was like the idea of like dominating and being in control and having like the ability to give someone else pleasure.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like there was nothing like it wasn't
Extra,
like a
like-
double what do they call it? Like
yeah,
the,
double dildo.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not double. It's like a whatever it's called. You know, it wasn't one of those.
Okay.
And so it was just the idea of like giving her pleasure
Yeah.
with this thing, and it was like so empowering. It was so great.
Did
So
you
hot.
know that you can attach our cock ring
To a
to
dildo.
a dildo?
That's
Ooh.
fucking amazing.
It's for
And you
strap
can
on
give
sex.
the
Yes.
girl even more pleasure.
That and then
Or
that,
to
that
any
is something-
dildo.
Yeah.
Like, isn't not even just for strap on sex. Like,
Absolutely.
if you have like another dildo that you like, you,
You
put it
slide
on
it
that,
on.
and
and then you can
works with that
control
too.
it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can like hold your legs closed. I would assume.
Absolutely.
I don't know this per se.
You could. You
But
could.
okay, so
So anyway, so Brian has gotten to the point where he said if I really wanted to peg him, he would be okay with that. Ron, how do you feel?
well,
Oh Lord.
I have a counterpoint to your point.
Okay.
So you, previous to the recent Rose sex toys,
Yes.
are a very handy man. Like you can build things.
Yes.
I work wood.
You
Work
work.
with your wood a lot.
Yeah, you
I just wanna
manipulate
say
wood
we
really
both
well.
can build things. I do
Yes.
all the tiling.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, but
She's
continue.
a champ.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
a champ.
But
Thank you.
so there's this like level, like if you were just looking at like if you did a day in the life, like a sneak peek into your existence, you come across as very manly.
Can I
No.
counterpoint
Wait, hold
your
on a second.
point?
Let me finish
Can
my
I
point.
counterpoint your
Wait,
let me
counterpoint?
finish my point. But
we
if
all
someone,
have something to add. You're wrong, but
Yeah.
go ahead.
That's what I was about to say, but okay, go ahead.
but if someone does a day in the life with me, I'm just setting up karaoke over here and singing show tunes. So I feel so it's kind of like
It's not different because Brian is also seen as kind of like a not that masculine guy in the fact that like I think you're masculine.
Oh, thanks, babe.
Okay.
Jesus, where is this going?
wow, is this what that looks like?
This is where it's going.
Oh,
Okay.
no, that's great.
Listen.
I can see it now. I know what it
This
looks
is
like.
where
to
it's
the-
going. Okay, this is reminding me. It's taking me back like 10 years ago. Do you remember there was a term for men that like showered and wore nice clothes, and it was called metrosexual. And
Yes.
people used to say it all the time.
Yes.
No one
Well, he's
fucking says.
metro.
Yeah.
No
Oh,
one
yeah.
says that
Yes.
anymore. It's ridiculous, but that's how people
Well, it's
describe
called it's hipsters now.
No,
I'm just
no,
kidding.
that's a.
Well,
I don't think it
potentially,
is.
I think it was more just like he.
It was like,
kinda
oh,
looks like
he's
gay,
clean, like
but,
he's-
like,
He
but
takes
not.
care of
Yeah.
himself.
Like he looks gay, but he's not because
Yeah.
he just does his hair. Like I don't know. It was,
No, I get what you're
yeah.
saying.
it was
I understand it 100%.
It was fucking stupid,
Yeah.
but people describe Brian like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like we like musicals, like we are Star Wars
So do
nerds,
we.
like we
Yeah.
whatever. Like,
yeah.
but you are manly in the
Disney
sense.
freaks.
We're
you
Disney
know?
freaks, but like you're manly in the sense that yes, like we can build stuff, we can put a kitchen together and change a
We
toilet or
can remodel our
whatever.
home. and
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that
I,
sense.
and so I feel like if I did that more, then I would. And this is a thing that we've talked about. Like being pegged shouldn't have any bearings on manliness or non-manliness.
Yeah, it's
there's
not
nothing
emasculating.
Right. There's
to-
nothing
to have
wrong.
that. Yeah.
Right. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's
Right.
just this like it's this thing in my brain.
Yeah.
That I'm having a hard
taking
time.
that away.
Like,
yeah,
dude,
overcoming.
If I were to do that, I'm doing it to pleasure my wife.
And he's
Yeah.
probably
So, like,
not
you know
telling
what?
all his
Like,
friends.
I'm not definitely not being like, hey,
Would you
homie,
go
like,
tell
dude,
all
I
your
just got
friends?
pegged last
No.
night. What'd you do?
You know,
Yeah.
because you'd feel like they'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Right,
Yeah.
but like, dude, like, it's gonna earn me some points, and
Yeah.
you know what? I'm gonna be able to do something that I
You might
want to
like-
do.
You might like it.
You know what I mean?
I
Or
mean,
maybe
our
I do like
our
it.
G spots are in our ass.
Right.
So
Probably.
Yeah, I was just learning how to like reach in and feel for it.
Oh, have you put your finger in?
I
it?
haven't,
Yes.
but she apparently
No,
is
I
learning.
put your finger
yeah,
in your
yeah.
in
That
Oh,
was-
my
see,
finger in your butt
yeah,
before.
that's how it started.
He
Because
won't
like,
even let me do that.
because like 20 years ago, I was like, let me just start with a finger, and now
No,
it's like,
no, it's back on you now.
I know.
I've already said that I've done anal. I've already taken dicks
Yeah.
in my ass.
Yeah.
I'm talking
It's
about
your
you.
turn.
yes,
Thank
no,
you.
I totally get where you're
Start
coming
with a
from.
finger.
Yeah,
That's what I said.
no, this is good because this is it. I feel like in this show, 21 episodes.
It's mental.
in-
It's mental for you.
But
because
honestly, I
Yes.
just put a finger in Brian's butt like semi recently, like
Once
for the
again,
first time.
Hi, Dad.
Hi,
No, for like
Okay,
the
but-
first time. I don't know. There's hella coconut oil. Gotta
Yeah,
have the coconut
you got
oil.
it.
It's
It's
all
so
over
good.
us,
On hand
whatever.
all the time. I
And I'm
never
like
run
sitting
out.
kind of in front of us. It's probably fucking blacked out, and I like jerking him off, and it just like
slide
it
it
was
in.
natural. Like it
Yes.
just happened.
Oh, hey, I'm jelly. I'm jelly.
Hashtag couples goals.
Hashtag
Yeah.
couples goals.
no.
No, this is exactly what is needed for people to hear because
Yeah.
people are afraid to talk about this stuff.
Absolutely, and like I said, like, dude, it doesn't change who I am as a person
No.
because she put a finger in
No,
my
it
butt.
doesn't.
No, it just actually makes you a little bit more elevated.
Right, and
Yes.
but well, I wouldn't even necessarily say that, but I agree with you. But
He
like,
had
but
no
we're
choice. I was
Also,
blacked out. I was gonna take my way with him. No matter
when
what.
we all turn 50 years old, we got to have a doctor come shove a finger in my butt. Right?
You'd rather
Ah.
have this beautiful woman
Right,
do it.
I'm
Like,
definitely more down to have her put
Yeah.
it in the
Come
butt.
on.
Yeah, but then you're like, oh yeah, I've had everything in my butt. Just,
yeah.
like, just do
Hey
it.
man, I'm already
like,
warmed up.
Whatever.
Bunch of coconut oil in there.
It's nothing new to me. I am not afraid of having a colonoscopy. Let's do it.
Par for the course.
Yeah,
Totally
it's
fine.
par, it is. It's
Totally
par for the course.
I already know. Don't say that to me.
No, I know you already know. This is
we're
why
all
we're talking
saying that
about
to
it.
you.
This-
Okay.
I feel like that's like the common thread. It's like, when will Janelle penetrate wrong?
Hey, but it's
Yeah.
no pressure. If that's not what you're into,
No.
it's not what you're into.
Yeah, I'm not
It's
gonna
okay.
force myself.
Well, here's
on
the thing,
you.
though.
You don't
It-
have to do that.
It's not what I'm into because I've tried it and I can tell you that it's not what I'm into.
Yeah.
It's strictly like a hypothetical.
mental-
It's all
mental
mental.
block,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like a mental thing.
That's okay. Like it takes time, to decide if you're ever gonna get over that.
yeah.
Like I wouldn't let Brian put it in my butt for a long time.
yeah.
He
So-
played the long game. We got married. We had a child, and then I was like, okay.
It was a long con.
You committed. You can get
You
in
saw
there.
me give birth. Okay, you saw all of that. I guess what else could happen?
There's nothing else on the table
what else
but
could
that.
go? What else could go wrong
Yeah.
after you seeing that?
You've seen it all on display.
And that's when
Oh my
I was
goodness.
ready.
Yeah.
I was ready then.
It feels really good though.
Yeah. Apparently,
It does.
you do enjoy it.
I do.
Man, it's so hot. I love
It
it.
is really hot.
I know it's really, and then the
Yeah.
thing is, it's like sometimes we'll be in the midst of it. I actually have this video that we made, and we were in the midst of it, and then all of a sudden she like grabs me and pulls me out of her, and she like moves it over, and I'm like, oh, wow, okay.
Yes.
This isn't me being like, hey, it's my birthday. No, it's like
It's my birthday.
she's like
you
no,
owe this to me.
yeah,
Here's your gift one time a
right.
year.
'Cause- no, this was her being like,
I
okay,
want
this
this.
is what I need right now, and I was like, all right.
Cool.
Yeah.
When in Rome.
Yeah, absolutely.
When
Yeah.
in Rome.
I feel
I'm
like
so lucky.
we've had. I know you are.
I just want to make sure I say it out loud.
We're all so lucky.
Yes,
We
we
are.
are.
This is amazing.
We
We're
are
lucky
very
to have
lucky.
met you guys. I feel like we have like a lot in common.
I think
Yeah.
so
Dude,
too.
honestly, in like all kinds of weird ways, because
Yeah.
I've obviously like listened to all your podcasts, and
is
I was
amazing.
listening to the early ones, and I was like, oh, thank God, like they're just like us, like they've done ecstasy, they've fucked on drugs.
Yeah.
You've heard it. The first time we had sex, we were on ecstasy. Like,
And
Yeah.
I was like, thank God. That wasn't the first time we had sex, but
I smuggled
Other
it.
times.
I smuggled it from New York to California. I was like, I
amazing.
put it like in a Tylenol bottle. I'm like, who's gonna know that this is ecstasy? I don't know.
hopefully
But I was
nobody.
like 18, like, oh, this might work. I don't know.
And-
Well, it's crazy
then-
because
yeah.
I would never like try to get it now because I feel like it's like so like cut with like dangerous.
Oh,
shit.
yeah,
you
yeah.
have to
You
get
can't do it
Molly.
anymore.
It's Molly now.
Well,
Yes.
we did Molly. We did.
I
we
never
done a
did
lot of
Molly.
things.
Oh,
No.
stop it. You're incriminating us now.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, let's cut the conversation. But
We
anyway,
did.
we do have a lot in common. I think that that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love what you guys are doing with your products and like the reach that you're trying to achieve. I think
Yeah.
it's beautiful, and I think that you're gonna have like this major impact.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And
I
That's
hope
super
so.
fun.
I mean, we're trying.
And your
We're just
personality is
trying.
definitely
Yeah.
going to help a lot, and that's why I'm really stoked that people get to kind of meet
Yeah,
you.
they put you
and-
out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
this
they
is
get
the
to kind
first
of
time
see.
we really get to do that.
Absolutely.
So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm so
and-
happy we could do it with you guys.
And then
Oh,
when you
I
and when
know.
you get a new line, you have to come back, and we have to keep talking about it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Or if
Anytime.
you just guys want to like come over and drink and record some shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can we
Like,
just like
Yeah, come hang
be
out.
best
Maybe like
friends?
some
Yeah.
Julio songs or
Yes.
something. You know,
Yeah,
we
we
could
can do
Oh,
songs.
could
we
probably
love
do some.
karaoke.
Yeah, we're huge
Do
fans
it.
of
Well,
karaoke.
Brian
We love
sings. I do
karaoke.
not, but
Oh,
that's
man.
fine. You
We
go
love
for it.
karaoke.
Yeah.
We set it up in the living room.
We
and
should
sing.
do it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
oh,
we
we're
should, we
gonna.
should.
We're gonna.
Oh, we're gonna.
Oh, we're gonna do it.
Dude,
It is a
no.
thing now. But thank you so much for coming on the show. And
Of
it's
course.
Reese and Rose, so it's RE
Yes. Recent.
Right, wait, put it.
RECE.
REECE and Rose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
.com.
that's .com. And actually, if you go to Amazon for the wand, like let's say for some reason you're like, well, I'm on Amazon, let me look at it. I looked it up by Reese and Rose Massager.
Yeah,
And it
I
came
had a
right
hard
up.
time finding
well,
it.
we're having that's a whole other story
Yes.
right now. We're having a struggle
With
Amazon because we got flagged. The part of the draw of the massage wand is that it's not a sex item, and that
Right.
means that you can hella other people sell it. You can promote it. You
Right.
can advertise.
Something like it, right?
Yeah.
Basically the same thing, but we got flagged as a sex item.
Oh.
And how that can happen is, I mean,
A competitor
I'm pretty
can flag
a
you
competitive
or whatever.
yeah, another
I see.
competitor can flag you and be like, they're a sex item, then you're down for a week.
Wow.
And it takes like 12 hours in between emails because there's no one you can call.
Yeah.
So that you're talking and trying to like tell them what's going on, and they're answering a question that is not your problem, and it takes time. And so just today, they're like, oh, yeah, okay, we unflagged it as a sex item, but wait 24 to 48 hours
my
until
God.
your product is back up and like being advertised and searchable.
Right.
So we have to wait 24 to 48 hours until we can see if that's legit.
So then,
That's
then the
ridiculous.
and then,
website's the easiest
and then
way,
if
yeah.
we complain
Absolutely.
again. So
Everything that we do is going to be on our website.
Right.
Website's
Whether
the
that be
best
our
way.
Twitter,
That
sounds like-
our
yeah.
Instagram,
That
our
sounds like the best
Amazon
way.
link,
Yeah.
anything, our online store, we're all linked up. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
and then
that's-
if you go to the website, you can use the code SWIJS and get 20% off your
Hell yeah.
entire purchase.
Yeah.
yeah, the whole
The
order.
whole thing.
Yeah.
And just to let you guys know, we don't plan on canceling that anytime soon. So
you.
anything
no,
else
that's
that comes
now
out,
until forever
we will
Yeah.
for your listeners. Yeah.
definitely be honoring that code.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
and please, just if you're a listener and you use that code and you get it, go to either their website or go to their Instagram via their website and tell them this was awesome and I
Yeah.
loved it and talk about it, and that way they can get positive that feedback, whether positive or
The
negative.
positive vibes.
Yeah, and if
Yeah.
you like,
Positive
yeah, and if you
The
didn't
vibes.
like it, or if you think something can be changed, they're there. You can like text them.
We're
and-
very responsive.
Yeah.
Like anyone that sends us a message, we write you right back. Like we want to talk to you guys.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you come out to our show on Saturday, August 24th, because you're in Napa, you have a chance
Yeah.
to see the toys up close and personal
Yeah.
and get to touch it
Yes.
and feel it. and be like, ooh, and we'll have we'll I think we're gonna raffle them, but then I also think what we'll do is we'll make like a little paper up front that'll tell everybody the code and like the website, so that way they can feel the toy and then be like, if they didn't win it, they can still go buy it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
a great idea.
awesome.
Because like if you go and get food at any place, it's gonna cost you like $90. So to spend $40 to get off is, I mean, trust me.
That's a deal.
We've been chasing the Get Off Dragon for quite some time. We have been chasing it for quite some time. So I mean, granted, like with me, like I can just like rub myself up against the wall, and I guess eventually I'll get off. But to have,
You're gonna hump a wall.
yeah, but to have something where like, and I know we talked about this a little bit ago, but to be inside you and to feel the vibration through you.
That's
Or
hot.
if you have that one right there, which I think definitely is on our list of things to try most likely this evening.
Fuck yeah.
to have that
that.
inserted in the vagina and then you're fucking in the ass. There's this thing where they're touching each
Oh,
other
yeah.
and you
Yes.
feel it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Trust me, you don't know.
That's how I finally had the best anal of my life.
Yeah.
It yes, because you can feel it.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
And
it's something about being
Absolutely.
relaxed already by having something in your vagina.
Yeah.
Then you're already ready for
You're like
anal
open
play.
Yeah.
and just like, yeah.
So
Do it.
Yeah.
So this is we're there just to make sure everyone is clear. None of they have not paid a dime. None of this comes from like them paying us money. This is strictly just like we
good
talk to
times.
them on the phone.
Yes.
As you can see,
It's
they're
very
amazing
organic
human
and
beings.
it's very
Yes.
homegrown. I wanted to
It
say
is.
that. We're like literally in our living room.
Yes.
And we're just hanging out with people that we like
Drinking wine.
and we
Yeah.
believe
Drinking
in
wine.
their
We're just
Pour me
drinking
some more,
wine.
Brian.
and we believe in your product.
Yes. No, we totally. Well, actually, we believed in you, and then you brought us products that the moment we touched them, we
Yeah.
were like, "Holy shit, this is the real deal."
Aw, that's so nice.
So we thank you so much for being on here,
No,
and they're
thank
going to be
you.
back.
Thank you
Yes.
guys.
Oh, I
You're gonna be
hope
back
so.
on the
Please
show.
have us
You really
back.
want us?
Yes.
All
Us?
right. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
No,
this
you-
is true.
We love you guys.
Yes.
We're so excited.
No, this is gonna,
Absolutely.
it's gonna
Thank
be,
you.
It's a great little relationship that we've started.
Yes, and it's a lot of fun, and I hope you really enjoy this episode. Don't forget to go to sowhatitsjustsex.com. You'll get a link to their website as well as REECE and Rose.com, and then you get 20% off with the SWIJS. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Like
Thank you,
seriously,
honestly.
this was like so
So
fun.
It was super
So
fun.
fun.
Jinx,
Thanks,
you
you.
jinx.
Shut up.
So in sync.
Yes.
Thanks,
All right.
you guys.
Oh, you're welcome. And like I said, it'll be up on the website, so check it out.
And thank you.
So what? It's just sex.
Wait a minute.